welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame to his game because he's always the same.
That's me.
Grumpy does not have his mic hooked up, but with us here, as always, special reoccurring guest. I'd say an integral part of
He's a regular. He's a regular now.
I was about to say, I guess he's past the vetting time period, Grumpy Old Man, to where he's just a member of the podcast. It's the magnificent Son X.
That's right. That's right.
There it is. There it
How
is.
y'all doing today?
Oh, we are doing swell, doing swell. If you are new to this podcast, welcome. This is a twice a week all sports podcast where we talk anything and everything sports. We talk NHL, NBA, NFL, college athletics, MLB, literally anything and everything sports we talk about on this show. So if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to do a few things. We encourage you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. And if you also like the content we put out, you need to make sure you like the video because apparently that helps the algorithm. It gets this fun time of shooting the shit and talking about sports out to the masses. So, you know, I don't think I mentioned this too. There will be no show this upcoming Thursday, but we usually have our shows on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Thursday, we will probably not be having any show. Hold on, Grumpy. What's going on with the laughter?
8:30 and 9:30.
You realize we never start the show at 8 and 9, ever. Never freaking ever. I wish you would, honestly, but you don't. Here it is today.
We start pretty close, right, Grumpy? We start pretty close to that time period.
No, it's like 8. What time is it here? 8:36. Let's say 8:30 we started the show today. That's about apropos. 9 o'clock show starts at 9:30.
Oh, no, Grumpy. We start almost on time, all the time, Grumpy.
Never.
Oh man. But yes, so today we've got on the docket for us, we're gonna be talking about the NHL and the NBA Finals. We got some updates, and we're going live right during game 2 of the NBA Finals. So we'll be talking about that, and hopefully Grumpy and Son X's attention is going to be on us here and on the conversation.
God. Hopefully you can read a comment without fucking it up. How about that?
Oh,
Why don't we? Let's just hope for small miracles. TJ does his job. That would be
small miracle. Exactly. Small wishes, small miracles, Grumpy Old Man. Also, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about, the two finals, as we had mentioned off the rip. We're going to talk about a soccer legend retiring today, stepping away from the game. We'll talk about him, the impact he's had on the game. We'll talk a little bit about MLB action. We've got some Mets action. We've got some Yankees action, which is predominantly the majority of the fans who listen or the listeners of the show. We're going to talk a little NFL too. NFL is slowly sneaking its way into the forefront. We're going to talk some F1. Grumpy, I hope you did your assignment and watched some of that F1 race here this weekend. Okay.
No, he did not.
Gotcha. I'm glad to see Grumpy did not. We're going to talk, we mentioned a few MLB action. Steven Strasburg might never pitch again, which is, we'll kind of talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the only savior I think that the Mets have at this point. We'll have a chance to speak about it. But, I think it's a good way to start off the show and the podcast. Do you remember Armando Galarraga, Grumpy Old Man and Son X?
Name sounds familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do you remember him, Grumpy Old Man?
He was a first baseman. I don't think his first name was Armando either.
Armando Galarraga was a pitcher. Used to be a pitcher for the Tigers. And now I'm going to show you this image and see if this strikes any sort of remembrance, right? If this jogs any part of your memory where it's like, oh, I know who Armando Galarraga is.
Lumber Liquidators, Hardwood Floors for Less.
Yes, that's it, of course, Son X. Grumpy, looking at this image, do you know what happened during this play?
Yeah, I do.
What happened, Grump?
Just play it. You'll see.
Grumpy, I don't think you do. That's what I'm asking you. I want to quiz you.
Oh, my God. I told you I do.
What happened during this play?
Just watch the play at first base.
Ah, okay. Grumpy remembers. Grumpy remembers.
No shit. When I tell you I remember. I'm not like you.
Ground ball, right side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe. He is safe at first base.
You know what? I like the Detroit Tigers logo, that old English style D on their hats. I like it. I like it.
This was going on to a perfect game Armando Galarraga had going on for the Tigers, and this was obviously down to the last out to see if he can keep the perfect game, and you could see they ruled him as safe. But I'll let you continue to watch it so you can see it in slow motion. Those may be unfamiliar and connects if you forgot about this skill.
And you know the interesting part, if this was today, it's a perfect game.
Yep, because they're just able to go to replay, and that's why replay exists, is to correct major F-ups like this.
Yep.
I mean, as a Tigers fan, you go out there and you're like, what the fuck, man? How the hell do you throw a call like that to the guy?
You make the call. Cabrera, Galarraga.
Well, he's out.
He only had him by like a full step and a half.
You know what the funny thing is? The first base umpire's looking right freaking at it.
Yeah.
And he still F's it up.
Yeah.
I like the guy who made contact with the ball when he got the hit. He puts his hand on his head like, oh, shit, I was actually out. And it just robbed this guy the perfect game.
He knew he was out.
I think he kind of felt bad.
He felt bad because he knows he's out and he got called safe.
Are you kidding me? Why?
Niggy, baby.
We'll see right here.
Oh.
Safe.
Why is he safe?
That's not even. Why is he
goodness,
safe?
Jim Joyce. No. Jeez Louise. Oh, my goodness. What a travesty. What a
travesty.
For Armando.
This guy's too busy growing a mustache.
Oh,
Matter of fact, hold on.
Smiling.
Hold on. Put him back up there. Put him next to TJ.
No, too much hair. Come on now.
Well, no.
what are you saying, grumpy old
wearing a
man?
hat. That mustache looks very similar.
Whose mustache does this look like? I feel like you're trying to incriminate me, Grumpy.
You could be Jim Joyce.
Yeah, TJ is the Jim Joyce of reading comments. He fucks it
Oh! The Jim Joyce of comment reading.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
But I'll watch it. I'll watch it one more time here because I do like the reaction of the guy who made contact with the ball. I won't call who got a
right
hit.
side. Cabrera will cut it off. Galarraga covers. He's out. No, he's safe. He is safe.
Look at his reaction.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give Galarraga some credit, man. I would have been losing my freaking mind out there.
If you remember, the reason I had brought that up is because it is, I believe, the 13th year anniversary of that play. That happened 13 years ago.
Damn.
You starting to feel old, boys?
Yes, I'm starting to feel a little old, Grumpy. Starting
Doesn't
to feel
seem like that
you.
long ago to me.
13 years ago. Well, they had the guy throw out the I think the opening pitch the day after, and Galarraga handled it like a champ because he was definitely robbed of history.
Yeah. There's
So-
only been so many perfect games in the history of Major League Baseball.
Wait, they had the umpire throw out the first pitch or Galarraga throw out the first
I
pitch?
think it was Galarraga. I can't remember if it was Galarraga or the umpire, but like they had like a gesture. I know that next game where they kind of had squashed it, and like Galarraga handled it like a champ. You're right, because could you imagine it happening to a big name pitcher or a guy who's a little bit of a hothead on the
Like
mound?
Max Scherzer, for instance.
Max Scherzer might be pitching a fit, ready to throw a damn umpire out.
All the bats would have been on the field, buckets of balls. Hell, shit, the Gatorade cooler would have been out there. Yeah, it would have been rough.
You know what? I miss those days. You don't see him any. Major League Baseball has been so homogenized now that you don't see any craziness from managers throwing stuff on the field, spitting in the
Well,
people's
players.
faces.
You remember when Big Poppy destroyed that Gatorade cooler?
Yeah,
I
with
think
the
it was Big
baseball
Poppy
bat.
when yeah, beat the hell out of that thing.
I
You
remember
just
that.
don't see it. You just
No.
don't see it.
Well, it's because now you get fined a ridiculous amount, so nobody does that.
I just think it's how they've taken all the individuality out of the game. Everything's a cookie cutter, one to the next. You look at some guys are a little bit goofy, but it's almost like a team thing. And but for the most part, everyone's just, hey, we're gonna stay in line. Da da do 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 do. Just no.
You're right, though. You don't see managers when they get tossed from the game going around there throwing the fucking bases about,
Kicking the
throwing
dirt on the
baseball bats
umpire.
and balls on the field. Man, those are the good days, is right.
Ripping up the bases.
That's correct, Jim. I agree with you.
Jim.
What is that
Jim
about?
Joyce.
Oh, yeah.
Happy anniversary to Jim Joyce's best call as an umpire, says Drew. Oh, man. There it is. And I know I'm curious, TJ, why would Grumpy do his homework when you don't even showcase the things he sent?
I guarantee you the things I sent today, which honestly, the things I sent could take up the whole show because it would drive conversation from everyone here. TJ just going to flat out freaking ignore them. I know he will.
Everyone's coming for TJ's throat today.
You know
You mean
what?
Jim?
Believe it or not, Grumpy, I
Yeah,
have
Jim
actually
did.
included the stuff you've sent me today. I have.
Really late, I bet.
What, Grumpy? I've included what you asked and what your request was. You sent me about Zlatan. He's included, Grumpy, the legend of the game, the lion. He's included, Grumpy old man, him retiring.
Get your
Goon, Grumpy.
Oh my God. Here's the thing. I guarantee you the things I put that where everyone can discuss and all the fans would like will be ignored. Goon says, Son X, I asked a question last night at approximately 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is Son X counting down the seconds until tomorrow night's podcast? Did I hit the nail on the head or am I in the red?
No, I'm always excited to do the podcast. I don't know if I would say I'd count down the seconds, but no, I'm always excited. I'm always ready for it.
I think you're in the red then. That did not sound like a rousing endorsement of how much he looks forward to this show.
Can I just say one thing? And I know we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals as we go on. Miami started off, they were up 10-0 to start this game.
Yep.
Now they're down 39-29. This might be a sweep.
Jokic is
I
a
agree.
hell of a player, and the Nuggets are a damn good team.
They are.
Well, no, here's the thing. Miami doesn't match up. They can't compete with Jokic. They have nobody who's a big man who can compete with him.
With Joker.
We don't. With
Joker.
Joker, yeah.
The Joker.
They don't.
Why the long face, son?
Honestly, he's in his own league.
He is. He's really good.
He's going to be one of those guys who are going to be one of the faces upcoming in
He's
basketball.
30 years old, 29 years old. I don't think that's the face
He's
they
30
want.
years old?
29.
But yeah, because he played overseas.
I don't think that's the face you're going to see on NBA 24's box.
It's, well, okay, in the last NBA game, it was Devin Booker. He's on the cover of 23.
Book.
D-Book, yeah.
Well, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up as to what Grumpy
I never thought Devin Booker was going to be that good coming out of Kentucky.
He's
Not
freaking
me.
good.
He
He's
is
good.
good. But I'm just like, it's funny. So no matter how good kids look in college, and I guess that's the fact that they come out so early that you really don't see them develop their game in college. It's really more of a crapshoot in the draft.
I mean, think about think about it. Zion was a number 1 overall pick. He really hasn't done anything. I mean, it's been that way with a lot of players. Usually the number 1 overall doesn't really pan out.
Yeah, but Zion can't push himself away from the dinner table.
He's injured. He's injured, and you're
his
right.
weight.
He needs to get his ass in shape. I think it's that simple.
Yep.
To give you a little bit of a precursor as to what the grumpy old man sent me, take a guess what grumpy old man sent me to talk about for discussion today. If you had to guess what the grumpy old man would be including on our list of discussion of a podcast in 2023, what do you think would come up on that list, X?
TB12.
Sure enough, Grumpy found a way to send me some information on TB12. I believe it or not, Grumpy, I don't want to talk about Tom Brady every effing podcast.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a rule written where he actually can become a player if it's voted on by the board. He can become the first ever owner/player. So he could technically play for the Raiders.
God Almighty, please no.
Yes! Yes!
Grumpy on the list.
Get my YouTube subscription now for the Sunday ticket. Yeah.
Grumpy, you got to pre-order yourself a Brady Raiders jersey?
I'm ready. I love the Raiders. I tell you what, I always loved their colors, loved their helmet. They were my first favorite team with Darryl LaMonica.
It's coming full circle. This was written in the stars.
That's
Written
right.
in the stars for Grump. Brady, his favorite player of all time,
and
plays for his childhood favorite team.
to lead them to a championship. Think about that. Here's the things I said. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to say it. Dallas Cowboys, they topped the Forbes list for the most profitable sports teams in the last 3 years.
Do you know why?
I don't understand why everybody's a Dallas fan.
It's very obvious as to why it is. Do you know why, Grumpy, Dallas is the most profitable sports NFL team? It's very obvious. They own all the merchandise rights to what they sell. When all the other merchandise rights owned by the 31 other teams are owned by the league,
okay,
Dallas owns their own.
We could talk about that.
That's what to talk about. What is there to talk about?
If you looked at the list of the teams, what's the one thing that you notice? They don't win. They're all taking the money, putting it in the old pocket.
They're not
putting it
reinvesting
on the
in
field. Then I had, the people's champion reveals whether Bill Belichick congratulated him in the Super Bowl. I was going to be a blow-by. I just think I threw it in there.
Fuck whether Bill Belichick congratulated Tom Brady.
No. Zip it. Zippity, ippity, zip. Let me finish. Then I said, NFL playoff predictions. 7 teams that could miss the postseason. And I read that. I'm like, you know what? Only 14 teams make it. I said, what kind of idiot would say 7 teams could possibly not make it? And then I looked at the list and I said, you know what? I'm the idiot because it's absolutely distinct possibility. I thought we could talk about that. And then we could talk about Major League Baseball, the Memorial Day awards, where everybody ranks, exciting, disappointing, most surprising teams, MVP, Cy Young, all that stuff. That appeals to everyone. Everyone. And TJ's just going to say, nope, not going to do that.
Believe it or not, Grumpy, we're not going to be talking about.
Oh, believe it or not, we're not going to be talking about NFL or Major League Baseball.
Stop, Grumpy. We're not going to be talking about upcoming NFL, who's going to make the postseason, who's not when. We haven't even started training camp. We haven't even started preseason. Right? We are going to have plenty of football to talk about coming up. We don't have to start loading our schedule with football in July. Okay? Or June, I'm sorry. I'll go back.
Go ahead. That's fine, Dictator TJ. That's fine, Dictator TJ.
Fuck.
What was the comment? What did the comment say? What was Drew's comment? Let me read it again. Can we put it back up, please? I'm curious, TJ. Why would Grumpy do his homework when you don't even showcase the things he sends you? I don't know. Because he just said, no, unilaterally, no, we're not talking about that. That's the way he operates. Thanks. Appreciate it. Thank
Grumpy,
you, Drew. The people recognize it.
You sending me stuff on Tom Brady is not going to make the cut every.
What about the other things I sent you?
Every week when I say please send stuff, every fucking week without hesitation, we will get at least one Tom Brady, if not 2 or 3. That's tied with Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Bill Belichick, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. Something that has to do tied with Tom Brady. We will have at least 2 or 3 of those messages. Hey, let's talk about some Tom Brady this week, guys. I'm done. I'm done talking about Tom Brady. Done. Finito. Finished.
I didn't even
TJ,
mention.
By the way, can we talk about some more Tom Brady real quick?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
here's the thing. And there was another article I didn't even send you about Brady. He said he just hopes his kids don't play football because the expectations would be unobtainable. He didn't say that, but they'd be unreal.
Okay,
the expectations would be, over the
It's
top.
like, nobody's ever going to be as good as me.
Don't set your goals that high. You only set yourself up for disappointment, kid.
Don't set yourself up for failure. That's
same thing with Chris
Sims.
Sims.
Do you see what I mean, though? Do you see what I'm dealing with?
Same thing with Chris Sims when he went after Phil Sims. Why? They already had a quarterback in the family. Just give it up. Peyton Manning's kids. They're like, no, I'm not even gonna play football. Eli's saying, yeah, we can all play football. We'll be better than dad. That's for certain.
Okay.
But no, I thought honestly, the Forbes list was interesting. I thought the NFL teams that might not make the playoffs, and then I thought the Major League Baseball thing was very interesting.
I have MLB on the list. I do.
Oh, but it'll probably be something else.
I'm not going to be talking about the Forbes list where things are obvious. The teams that own the ability to sell their merchandise and pocket everything compared to owned by the league.
Did you look at the list? Did you look at the list?
Yes,
no,
I
you
looked
didn't.
at the list.
No, you didn't. You didn't look at the list.
You
just looked at the headline. You just looked at the headline.
Oh,
Zlatan Ibrahimovic did retire from soccer today. Crazy.
I know we've got that in the list. Hold on, let's get current with comments before we start blasting into that.
We all just keep squawking about the same thing. Come on.
Nick D says 5-star review. Goon, grumpy old man.
Most umpires come off as arrogant pricks. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Yeah, I think that they try and involve themselves too much in the game. They try to become a part of the game.
They used to be fun and entertaining. They used to scrap with the guys. They used to battle with them. It was better. Everything was better.
Now it's like if you breathe too hard near them, they automatically eject you.
I can't wait for the robot home plate umpires. I can't wait for that.
Drew says, so I'm watching the NBA Finals right now. Yeah, Miami was up 12 at one point in the first quarter. Then Denver took a lead and on a 20-5 run. Yeah.
Denver's freaking good.
Gungun says, a disturbing story was briefly touched upon last night. Is it true that Dog Z recently knocked Grumpy down on the ground? Was it in the middle of a busy boulevard with 8-wheelers zooming by?
No.
This was a while ago. It wasn't recently.
It was all right.
You hold the freaking leash incorrectly.
Okay. The fact that I have to strap up to walk your dog is an issue. You should just
you put the leash hoop around your arm and you hold it around your hand.
And you got to wrap it around your hand.
You put the leash loop around your arm and you hold by the leash. That's it.
Wrap it around your arm.
Never lose the leash again.
Here's the thing. Dog Z has not been trained by his master. He's a really energetic dog. That breed, a German short-haired pointer with some type of something else, golden retriever mix. He's the sweetest dog ever. Okay, but here's the thing: he's a ball of freaking energy, and I can't tell you. They have to put him in a special leash that yanks his head back when he tries to bolt, because he's reckless. He's reckless. I love him to death, but he's undisciplined. He is. And here's the thing: he had gotten away from me a couple of weeks before when he just bolts like it's bam.
It's my first time hearing this. So you went to walk Dog Z during when X was at work.
Yeah, because his dog is incapable of staying home by himself.
Don't worry, he stays home by himself now.
Yeah, because I told you to train his ass
the road. We don't need to get a call. Hey, by the way, dog's dead. I couldn't hold the leash correctly. Sorry. Yeah,
it's my fault that the dog would get run over because he's reckless. But he bolts. And here's the thing: you get close, bam, he takes off again. It's like, what the frick?
Because he thinks you're playing with him, dude.
No, he knew I wasn't playing.
Yes, that's exactly.
I started dragging him out.
He thinks you're playing. He thinks you're playing like you're chasing him. He thinks you're playing a game with him.
Well, I did chase him, but I was worried about him. Thank goodness he went back further into where the complex where X lives. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So so I was able to kind of corner him a little bit, and I was able to catch him. But so I'm leery. Right? I'm leery after that. And here's the thing. The last thing I want is something to happen to the dog. Regardless if he's stupid or not because of his owner, I don't want anything to happen to that lovely little puppy dog. So
he's a good boy.
I'm really worried. So again, we take him out and he starts, I'm holding the leash. Yes, that's right. I don't stick my hand through the loop and wrap it 6 times around my arm or any of that stuff. I don't tie him to the bumper of a car like they did in National Lampoon's Vacation. I don't do that with the dog.
You stick your hand through the leash, to the hole, the loop, and you hold the rope part. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's literally it. It'll never get away from you. Because if he pulls, you just lift your arm up. Boom. Now he's got to take your entire body weight. He ain't gonna be able to do that.
He drags. Here's the thing. He drags.
No,
See, that's
won't.
what I mean. Reckless.
Trust me, that thing around his snout, it'll crack his ass back.
So
it sounds like we need to put that dog down.
Dog knows how to walk with this thing on. He's straight. He gets that neck. He gets it at an angle, and he still drags because he's not stupid. He's not stupid. He's undisciplined, but he's not stupid.
See, undisciplined, you're ridiculous.
And he goes, and he could drag your shit. And the whole thing is once.
Oh, Grumpy. How does he go? Give me that noise.
With that, he like how you walk straight. If you run straight, the thing will yank him back. So he kind of angles it. He knows where. Okay, he's on this side. I know where I got to go, and that's how he goes. I mean, he's driving. Ask the Ward. The Ward will tell you. We can't even walk this dog in our neighborhood. Cannot walk because if we see another animal, watch out. All bets are off. Let me tell you something. That dog is known as a menace, an absolute menace where X lives. People see him from across the street. Woo! they're going all the way the other direction. One guy sees him. Well, I'm going to go on the backside. Hey, thanks a lot for keeping that menace away from me. He's got a reputation. X says, no, I'm telling you he does. When you see the way other people, that people don't want to go near the dog. And here's the thing. He's not mean. He's not nasty, but he's a ball of freaking energy. He's like one of those Saturn V rockets ready to take off at any time. That's Dog Z. So the second time we go outside, and all of a sudden I was looking to change because, I'm carrying the bags, and I'm like, oh, let me move the bag from one hand to the next. Boom. And he
so here we go. Here's
right?
the
Stop.
Grump's over here. Grump's tossing the fucking leash around his hands like this, and then he just takes off.
Every dog I ever see is just stand
the
still.
truth comes out. Grump's over here playing catch with the damn leash, and he freaking zooms off with no shit. And
here's the thing. He just pulled a little bit. I'm like, oh, the leash fell on the floor. I'm like, okay.
You're the only one. The only one.
So I reached down.
The only one that I know of.
I grabbed the leash. Boom! He bolts. I'm like, and he bolts. Down I go. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, do your business. Get your ass back in the house. I'm done with you.
What I was shocked was when X.
And you think I get any sympathy? Nope. I'm doing it wrong.
I'm sorry
I am walking the dog wrong. It's my fault that the dog is reckless and bolts.
You want to know how many times? You want to know how many times he's bolted for me? I'll tell you, 0.
Because you don't take him out.
None. I take him out all the time.
You know what I'm going to do from now on? I'm just going to tie his leash to the bumper of the car, and we'll just walk around the neighborhood like that. Let's go, doggy boy.
Oh, God. What I was shocked was when X mentioned earlier that, don't worry, you don't have to worry about it. We don't want to worry about the dog getting loose. We don't want to have to worry about getting a call how the dog got loose and got hit by a car. That's why we're not having you walk him anymore. I'm shocked X's response was, we don't want to have to worry about getting a call that Grumpy is in the hospital because he's been knocked to the ground and broke his hip.
We're dead. Got run over. Some dog-related incident.
Grumpy's chasing after a dog, got hit by a car and died. That's what you should be worried about, X.
Grumpy would not get run over. If he went into the street and Grumpy saw cars coming, he'd say, well, that's it for me. I tried.
I would not do that. I would go after the dog in traffic. I would.
See you later, doggy boy.
He's good.
We would be, seriously, though, on a serious note, we would be devastated if something happened to the dog. Devastated.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He's fine. And then we found out that he can stay at home more than 5 hours by himself.
10 minutes without somebody entertaining him.
Yep, he's fine. He just sleeps all day now.
Read that next comment here.
TJ, can you finally show the Judge catch? I noticed that they put a chain around the fence in today's game. Also, Judge hurt his foot during that.
Yep, I saw that catch. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Here it is by Aaron Judge.
Crack down the line. Back to the corner goes Judge. It is caught.
Whoa.
Aaron Judge.
That's pretty shoddy from the MLB field.
It's the home run.
What a shitty fence.
Yeah. I realize it's an older stadium, but come on.
I don't know. Maybe something that's not just going to, like, when somebody breathes on it, it just goes ahead and gets knocked over.
Flies open. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell he's wincing in pain.
Yeah. I got him on my fantasy team.
Oh, is that Adrian Martinez still up there to bat?
No, JD Martinez.
JD Martinez.
And I don't know if you guys saw, apparently, Jacob deGrom could potentially have Tommy John surgery coming up.
What was that?
Jacob deGrom could potentially have Tommy John surgery.
What makes you say that?
He got pulled in a game.
He's ready to come back. He's ready to come back.
Okay. Well, they had said that they looked at it. They said it was a forearm injury, and they said that their thoughts were potentially Tommy John.
Now, X.
What? Hold on. Stop. Okay. He was injured because he was at home in Florida for the birth of his child.
Yeah.
Well, no, he got pulled in the middle of the game.
He's okay. That was during the Yankees game. It was like a month ago.
Oh,
and
whatever.
The whole thing is, and here's the thing. So, see, that's why I give. Here's the thing. Here in X's defense, I probably sent that a month ago, but TJ just ignored it.
Oh my God!
So, So X is a little bit behind the times.
I'm behind. Yeah.
See, that's okay. That's cool, right? But the whole thing was he's come back now. But I want to mention about forearm injuries. Now, the only type of forearm injuries that X knows about, well, you know why X will have an injured forearm, too tight forearm. What would cause that, you think, X?
Back when I was playing baseball, throwing all the time.
No, okay. So do you have an injured forearm now?
Nope.
Okay. I thought maybe you had a tight forearm. That's all. No?
Nope.
Okay.
James F said, guys, signed up for the football package on YouTube. Cost me $35. My
$350.
$350.
$350. Not 35.
Grumpy.
Genie's gonna have everybody signing
Hey,
up, and then they're gonna
Jim,
come back and be like,
Hey guys,
this
get this
dumbass said it
promo
was
code for James F. $35 for football all season long on YouTube.
$35. 35.
Find Sports and get it for $35.
The Jim Joyce of podcasting.
Oh, there it is. Drew L said, did Dog Z body slam Grumpy on some WWE shit? So kind of what it sounds like.
He actually gave him an RKO. He came up, ran up behind him.
That's what he
Gave
did.
him an RKO.
Let me ask you this, Grumpy. After he knocked you down in the street, did he like jump on you, prance on you, and then start running away? How'd that go?
He lifted his
He
leg
lifted
and
his leg and
pissed on
pissed
me.
on
That's
him.
what he did.
He did.
And then he went like this.
What'd you say he did?
He went
Jeez.
with his little
No, I
paw.
said he lifted his leg and peed on him.
Yeah, that's what he did first. Yeah.
Gungun says, another tidbit from last night's show. Grumpy claimed he would leave the show if a personalized video greeting from We Hoopin' was ever played. Did he mean momentarily or permanently?
Momentarily. If that came on, click, off I go.
No, did you answer the question, Grumpy?
I said momentarily.
Do you hear this, X? I want to make sure we're on the
Here's
same
the thing.
page.
I
Grumpy said he would leave the show if we got a We Hoopin'. If he went ahead and did a personalized message to Grumpy, wishing him like a happy birthday or congratulations, Grumpy.
What's your prediction of how he would leave the show?
I just hit my button. My picture wouldn't be there anymore.
Nope. His response would be this: "Oh, I've had enough of this. Goodbye." And he'd log off. Is exactly what he would do.
I would just exit. Click. That's it. No response. Just click and you know.
Alexander said, I'm going to try something different today, guys. I'm going to stay on YouTube. How are you guys doing? What's up, Alexander?
Whoa.
Doing well. Look
There's
at
that baby.
Grumpy.
Look at that baby. Looks like he's got some real life to him. Got a little excitement in his eyes.
My little brownie said, thank you, Dictator TJ. Let's save the football talk. There we go. You're welcome, my little brownie. I do what I can. I'm a very gracious dictator. What can I say? James F., another tough loss by the Mets.
I'll tell you what, and Toronto has been struggling, and they just look like they own the Mets. The Mets are in trouble. I don't think that Buck Showalter is going to make it out. He might make it out the season, but the team is poorly constructed. All the prospects they brought up, Batty and the boys, just not been great.
To show this, right? During their homestead against Toronto Blue Jays, they got swept. Homestead, their home matchup against the Toronto Blue Jays. They hit 177 with runners in scoring position over the last 6 games. They've hit 133, and all base plus slugging is a 554. Holy shit! Runs per game, 2.5 runs per game.
Not good enough.
How can you expect to win anything batting the way they have been recently?
Not even with a guy named Batty in your lineup.
Right?
Batty.
So,
whenever I see him, I know his name is Beatty, but I call him Batty now all the time.
Batty.
No, he actually went to this. I think he played the same high school football team as Sauce Gardner.
Oh,
did he really?
They brought Sauce Gardner out, and he threw the first pitch to him. Their last game.
I didn't know that.
did he intercept his own pass?
No.
But I do have a very fun video to watch by the Mets. You sent us.
Whoa! Is this
here's the Mets.
And that is ball 4. Now the throw gets into shallow center.
Oh, young catchers.
So Chapman's around third. He's getting the wave home.
Oh.
And he's in safely as Varsho goes to second on the play.
Ugh. Alvarez.
Ball
Why?
four. Now the throw gets
Why? Why? What a low percentage play that is, first of all, right? Low percentage, and you want to throwing it away. That's one of the rookies, right? It's like, come on. A lot of young guys, they're not thinking. They're not
You think you
thinking
can do
big
these things,
picture.
Nemo, but you can't. Ugh.
There's
They're
times,
Superman.
there's times you do something like that and times you don't. He wasn't even he was never going to get him.
No.
Never. I don't care where he was. He wasn't even close. I mean, he came up gunning. He's like, I know what I'm doing.
Ugh.
And it winds up costing him another run. Come on.
So there is one person, though, Grumpy, who could save the Mets in their batting woes.
Uh-oh.
Grumpy old man, there's one person.
Alfonso leans away, the 1-2, and Millage gives it a ride. Back goes Ellison at the wall. We are all tied up. Lastings Millage, his first major league home run.
Yeah, Lastings Village, baby. The man of the people can save this destitute New York Mets team. Lastings Village can give high fives every time he smacks one out of the park. He's going to be a hero of the people. Bring Lastings Village back up, and all
Why don't you-
woes will be solved.
Why don't you turn the volume off while you talk?
Grumpy,
2006.
we can bring Lastings Village back, and all of our offensive woes will be solved. He's the man of the people.
Well,
he high fives the fans, Grumpy.
DJ,
Come on.
that's not going to happen. I heard the only way he said he will come back is if somebody has 2 of his signed cards graded. It's the only way.
Oh, I've only got one graded, damn it.
You know what
You know what that means? You got to send the other one in.
wasn't Benitez on the mound? Armando Benitez, wasn't he on the mound? I honestly thought it was an alumni game. Seriously, I thought it was an alumni game until I heard
You
him.
think they bring him back for an alumni game?
Well, they're desperate.
No, Grumpy. They're not
Failed major league players against the New York Mets.
Oh, man. He's the only person that could come back and save the Mets.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Another tough loss by the Mets. Absolutely. The Mets
That's the
suck.
only home run he hit.
Needs to go. Has mismanaged his team. Vogelback is god awful.
That has nothing to do with Buck Showalter.
Correct. Vogelback to Silverback was added by,
They did nothing in the offseason to improve it. I loved what they did last year. This year, they went backwards. I mean, would you say that Lindor has been
awful.
I'm not going to say awful, underwhelming, certainly not worth the money he signed for in the term.
Absolutely not. Dude, okay, I'll tell you one thing. He has that ear-to-ear fucking smile on his face, which makes you want to punch him. Even when the team's struggling, he's having a good time, yucking it up, smiling about, no fucking, smiling, having a great fucking time.
He just checked his bank account off his phone.
Yeah, that's the issue, though. That's the issue, is that he's having a great freaking time, and the team is struggling. He's got to smile. There's certain things you don't do. When you're over there losing games and playing poorly, you don't have ear-to-ear smiles on your face. You don't go ahead and just like, hey, we're having a great time. You don't do stuff like that.
I don't know if they have a true locker room leader on that team, like a David Wright when he was there. You would think that maybe Verlander and Scherzer. I worry about Scherzer, though. He's just kind of loose, but Verlander. But you know what? I don't know if he can be a pitcher. It has to be an everyday guy, and I just don't see it. I don't think it's Alonso.
Yeah.
I think McCann, when he was catching there, was a locker room leader type. Alvarez is too young. I just don't know if there is a guy. Marte, is a Class A individual. Is Escobar still on the team?
Eduardo Escobar is still there, but he doesn't play very
But he
often.
never plays. So it's tough to be a locker room leader if you don't play. So I think they're kind of suffering in that regard also. They got a lot of young guys, and I just don't know if they have – they obviously don't have the right mix. I'd hate to see them spiral. I mean, they're not out of the playoff hunt, but they're going to have to right the ship a little bit.
I agree. Nothing else to say but that, but the team has struggled. They didn't address the true needs this offseason, and that's why they are where they are right now. 30-30 ball club.
I mean, Nimmo's been
Yeah.
good. right? Nemo's been pretty good, but does he scare you? I don't think. I mean, I guess Alonso, but Alonso's, he's hit or miss. He's either hitting 10 home runs a week or he's going 0 for 40.
It's really streaky.
You need guys who are a little bit more consistent. You really do. And their outfield, no real power out of the outfield. Their corner spot should be power guys. They need more power on that team.
Here's the other problem, too. I think the expectation for the Mets obviously is high, but the way they've played is really where the issue, in my opinion, comes into play. Because, right, the Mets have the highest payroll in all of the MLB. They just have played like shit this year.
I didn't realize they were number one.
Yeah, I think they've got the highest payroll in the MLB. I'll have to look it up, though.
I know the Dodgers were up there, too. And San Diego's got to be up there, too. Talk about an underwhelming team. Gosh, the Padres.
It's because guys like Juan Soto aren't as good as you think they are.
I was about to bring up the Juan Soto thing as well.
It's because guys like Juan Soto aren't as good as you think they are. And there's some people who knew Juan Soto wasn't that good eons before the masses, the media, and even grumpy old man could see it.
Okay, but they have a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, remember, all that talent was supposed to help Juan Soto bat better. He could be more protected. The reason he struggled so much in Washington because he was the only guy who could bat, and they didn't have to worry about pitching around. Yeah, okay.
They have 4 really top-level players on that team. You got Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, and Soto. Even though Soto's struggling,
played well this year.
Who has?
Bogarts hasn't played well this year.
No, his batting is there's not a whole. They're not. And Tatis has looked good since coming back from his issues.
Yeah, he has.
He's looked really good, but Machado's been hurt, right? He signs the big deal, and all of a sudden now he's not producing, and then he gets injured. Soto was injured early. He's not producing. Bogarts has been like I said, he's getting the bat on the ball, getting hits, but he's not knocking in runs. But he's batting first. They have some guys at the bottom order who aren't great. It's just they're another team that, and their pitching hasn't been great either. It's a shame. I mean, they're fun to watch, though. I will say that's a team that's fun to watch, but they just can't get the job done right now. They're probably the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball this year. Is them. From what you expect, what you got. And Tatis,
we could see the Mets.
Tatis for me should not be batting leadoff for that team. Should not.
Where do you think he should be batting?
He should be batting third or fourth.
That's what I was going to say.
That's where he needs to be.
You expect probably a lot from the Mets because of the payroll, right? Here's the payroll, by the way, and this is what we thought. The Mets have a payroll of $353 million a year. No other team even has $300 million. So the Mets have the highest payroll in the entire MLB by almost $70 million. It's like $67 million. Okay, think about this. There are only 8 teams in all of the MLB that have a payroll of $200 million or more. The Mets are the highest by a substantial margin, and to see the results of a completely average ball club is a problem.
It's funny. You look at that list, and can you scroll down a little bit more?
Sure. How far you want me going, Grumpy?
Right there. World champions Houston, 10th. Texas, who's been really, really good this year, 9th. All under 200 million. Atlanta, good every year, 203. I mean, even Minnesota, 153. They know how to manage the cap or the luxury tax limit. I don't even know what the limit is now. I know it used to be, I can't even tell you. But then you look at Tampa Bay.
28th.
They're all young, that's why.
True.
But here's the thing. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay has so many young players always playing, and whenever they get to free agency they move them, they trade them. They play like they suck or that they're a feeder system for the rest of the league. But they have so many guys. No one is entrenched in their lineup, really, for the most part, who plays every single day. So it also keeps their value down.
I think Wander Franco is, and like Yandy Diaz now is, but like guys like Yandy Diaz coming out of nowhere and performing are the reasons why that team plays really well.
There's 3 guys: Franco, Diaz, and Gosh, who's the other one? I can't. There's 3 guys who pretty much play every day. Everybody else is a platoon guy. Everyone else is platoon. And then you look at the bottom. Baltimore, $60 million for Baltimore.
Young.
Think about that. I believe they're second in the American League East. Really good. Top 5 team in the majors this year. $60 million. Good for Baltimore. And dead last is Oakland. And I'm going to tell you what, they're playing like that too.
56 million's too much.
It's about 40 million too much.
Oh man. You're probably talking about Grumpy. Who is it? The left fielder, Randy.
Yes, Rosarena. Rosarena. He's an everyday player. Yep, he's the other guy. Everybody else is platoon. Everyone else. And certainly, you look, the numbers these guys are putting up are great, but it's like, you know what? They have so much talent that they all don't play all the time. They just don't. They can't afford it. They'll play 2 out of 3 games, and they just rotate everybody.
Hey, when you have depth like that, it's going to keep the injuries down, right? And it's going to make sure your team is healthier long term. And
But they're young. They're young.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
even their pitching staff. Their pitchers don't go more than like 5 innings, sometimes 4. I mean, they don't have a set closer. They just rotate everybody. I mean, it works. They never win anything, though. Because when you get to the final, I mean, you got to remember that World Series where they lost to the Dodgers and they yanked, I don't even know who the heck it was who was pitching, was unconscious. And
they pulled them early.
They pulled them and the wheels fell off and they wound up losing that game and losing the series. It's like, you know, sometimes the Kevin Cash is the manager. Sometimes those analytics geeks, they overanalyze shit. I think it was Snell. It might have been Blake. Blake Snell?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Blake Snell. I mean, he's a guy who's been, since that point.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, come on. Sometimes you got to have a feel for the game. And I don't think that the Tampa Bay organization does. I think everything is by the analytics book, and it's great in the regular season, but, you know, you find out who really is cutting the mustard when you get to playoff time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, and you know, to think that Tampa team was at the pinnacle, then dropped, and now back there at the peak again. I mean, like, they're one of the best teams in baseball. No doubt about it. But yeah, the Mets were involved in 3 consecutive sweeps. Yeah, I guess they won 2 sweeps ago and then lost these most recent series and got swept.
Wait, what was the other one? And Ray Ordonez was the best shortstop in New York.
Oh my God. Alexander. Goon Grumpy.
6'4", 2006. 17 years ago today, Lastings Millage hits his first Major League home run, a game-tying shot of Armando Benitez. Millage high-fives the fans down the line on his way out to his position during the following inning. Good for him.
TJ, is it true that you have that call, that play-by-play call, as your ringtone on your phone?
Yes, I do. It's just like with Grumpy. Tonight's he scores. The Islanders win the Stanley Cup. Grumpy has that one. I've got Lastings Millage's first home run.
Oh, I thought Grumpy had Tom Brady, the greatest football player of all time. That's what I thought his was.
His might be, actually, now that you mention it. That's a good point there.
It's not.
Oh, good gracious. That's good. I think it is. Got another comment here. Grumpy old man. James F.
Domingo German looking real good pitching for the Yankees tonight. Well, he's good, 1 out of 4 or 5 games.
Until he gets
rely on him. And they're probably not checking him as thoroughly as they should out there in California because, the law really doesn't mean much out there. So I figured he's going to pitch well out there. Maybe they should move him to the Dodgers. Probably be a Cy Young winner.
Yeah. Okay. JP, Grumpy. Why don't you just keep reading?
Tom Brady was a cultural phenomenon. Good evening. My 11-year-old is confounded by your arguing. We're just having fun. There's no arguing.
There's a lot of arguing. Don't confuse it. There's a lot of arguing there. That's right.
I'm stuck in the middle.
Googin says,
there you go, X.
Village Classic occurred 17 years ago today. Video viewing worthy. It's funny. I actually had that queued up well beforehand. I had it set up to be the only person that could save the Mets, and I didn't even get to that point of the comments, but I knew Goon. I already had that planned out. But I'm glad you're looking out for Lastings Millage. Dodgers tied it up, says James. Alexander said, I remember watching that game with Lastings Millage, and when he was high-fiving all the fans after that. And it sounds like the dog is walking you, Grumpy, not the other way around.
That's exactly what it's like. He's always, I'm like I
What
said,
do you call it? You said he's taking you for a what?
a drag.
Take you for a drag.
God almighty.
He's got the harness. He's got this other thing that yanks on his face.
He's a sled dog.
On.
He's a sled dog.
He's a sled. That's what they are. That's what he is. He's like a freaking sled dog.
What is this X? You stick
He
your
was talking about when I said like you stick your hand through the loop of the leash.
Yeah, he can't have a regular leash. He's got to have some, and it's like steel reinforced.
And Olive
You're gonna
Garden.
wrap it around your hand like this, around your arm.
And Olive Garden is real Italian food. No, it's obviously not. Continuing along though, Drew says, I guess Son X has that reptilian energy. Gungun says, bold prediction. The Jets are setting themselves up for disappointing/failure with all this bullshit hype video media propaganda.
They are putting the cart before the horse just a little bit, don't you think?
The reason why is this is the first time the team has actually been competitive. They're excited. I mean, think about it. They've been losers for how long?
Forever.
That's my point. This is the first time the team's actually had a possibility to be good. I don't blame them. They're excited.
Well, I guess if they're going to celebrate, they might as well celebrate in the offseason.
Exactly. Because guess what? If the team sucks and they don't do well,
I'd like to see the Jets do well, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, they've been a loser for forever.
Yeah. And they
the biggest thing they've been known for is the Mark Sanchez butt fumble in recent years. So
the Dolphins are taking the division, says Alexander, and Dalvin Cook will 95% be a Dolphin if released.
I think Dalvin Cook's just about done.
I don't think he's just about done. I don't think he's got much left, but I don't think he's done yet. I think if in the right situation, I don't know. He was good last year too. I mean, you keep on complaining about Dalvin Cook. All he does is rush for 1,000 yards every year.
That's kind of the expectation for running backs now, though, wouldn't you say?
No, in the passing game, how many running backs rush for 1,000 yards nowadays? 10?
I think no. Stop.
How many? Look it up.
I'll pull it up, Grumpy.
Pull it up. How long you got to pull it up? Let me get to the next comment. Kanye the Giant. Nice to see you back again. TJ, I don't know how old you are. Did you ever play with or against Darren McFadden? He was fun to watch in college. That was a little bit before TJ's time.
A little before my time.
Darren McFadden was a good running back, though.
Run DMC was a damn good running back. Okay, so you asked me how many running backs had over 1,000 yards last year. 16 running backs had 1,000 or more rushing yards. That's the expectation. When you play 17 games, all you need to do is put up like 60-something yards rushing a game. So expectation is at least 1,000 yards.
Okay, think about that. 32 teams, only half of them had a 1,000-yard running back.
That's only the expectation.
So for half the league, it is. For half the league, it's
to be average. You have to have 1,000 yards.
Half the league is only good.
Okay, but that's not the expectation. What I'm saying is the game has changed so much that you don't see as many 1,000-yard rushers.
Yes, you do. You see more 1,000-yard rushers because more games are played.
Oh,
the fuck you talking about, Grumples? Right. What are you talking about?
Okay, you're right. It doesn't mean as much as it used to. I'll say that.
In 2018, there were only 9 running backs that had 1,000 yards rushing. In 2017, during the regular season, only 9 running backs had 1,000-yard rushing. Now, because they extended it a game extra, you've got 16 running backs that have 1,000 rushing yards.
TJ does be making a point there. He definitely is making a point there.
Grumpy, sit your ass down. Sit down and how do they say? Shut your ass up and know you will.
Can you run down the backs?
Was
that 1,000 yards last year?
Sure.
All teams that are freaking dominant, I guarantee you.
Josh Jacobs.
Okay, their team sucked. The Raiders sucked.
Nick Chubb
sucked.
Saquon Barkley.
Good.
He was all right. They made the playoffs.
Miles Sanders. Their team
behind that
Philly. They only went to the Super Bowl.
Behind that Philly offensive line, they should have had 3 or 4. How many?
Hold on. Stop.
No, I'm okay. I'm just saying.
I'm not participating in this where every fucking running back.
You know what that means? You know what that means? That it doesn't fit.
You have guys like Dalvin Cook,
you're making excuses.
Christian McCaffrey, Travis Etienne. Please stop.
I'm not making excuses.
There are playoff teams, there are non-playoff teams. 16 guys had over 1,000 yards rushing last year, and you're fucking bitching like, players don't rush for as much as they used to.
That's not the expectation.
The
That's not the
expectation is
expectation.
1,000 yards or more.
Because, okay, they added a game, but all previous years you were talking about 8 or 9.
Yeah, but okay,
Or
but
7.
now the way the game is set up, since they added an extra game, that's the
So
expectation.
they should probably, who had like over 1,100 yards rushing?
Why?
Come
No,
on.
Grumpy, you said 1,000 yards. You
Okay,
said
1,000
1,000
yards
yards.
doesn't
I'm
mean as
calling
much
your
as it
ass
used
on
to.
that.
They're
Grumpy.
playing 40 games a season. Come on. Okay.
Alexander
Next comment.
says, "Hey, we hooping is Grumpy's favorite person."
He's useless.
He is.
You know what I'm
he
gonna
is.
do? X or myself, when we go ahead and have, if we have a kid, we need to have the announcement for a future child to be done by We Hoopin'. And we need to air
Gender
it on the show.
reveal.
The gender reveal done by We Hoopin', so Grumpy has to watch.
If we hooping, hold on. If
Oh,
we
yeah.
if we hooping was if we hooping was doing a gender reveal, it would be it doesn't have a gender.
I don't know what that even means, but Drew says
Gender
here,
neutral. He's
Son
gender
X.
neutral.
I show Grumpy We Hoopin' 2.0. Oh, aka Tyler T Sports.
I don't
Grumpy
know
actually
who
might like
Tyler T Sports is. We need some Tyler T Sports ASAP. TJ.
You
I
don't know
who
who
that
Tyler
is.
T is?
I probably do if you show me what he looks like, but I didn't know that
He's
that was
the short, little, muscular guy that used to get in those little feuds. He's a hyperbolic guy who get in the feuds with Dr. Disrespect. You don't remember that?
Oh,
X?
he's like the
the short guy, Tyler. Yes.
And he like
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah, he's crazy.
Got here a comment.
Yes,
Alexander
right.
said no.
It was not
Garrett
Sauce
Wilson.
Gardner. It was Garrett Wilson, who was went to school with Batty. I messed his name up.
Batty.
Beatty.
Is it which one is it? Which one is it for real? Because you
Actually,
guys
Beatty. It's legitimately Beatty. Correct.
Okay, Beatty.
TJ called him Batty. TJ called him Batty.
The thing is, you guys have effed up the name for so long. I don't know which one is the proper name. It's the same running joke as the Franco Marco Harris in our house. I can't remember which one's the actual name.
That was Grandma X.
Yeah, I know, but it was constantly.
She always called him
like
Marco Harris. It was Franco Harris.
Franco Harris. Okay.
Okay. Drew says 177. That's like just as good as Francisco Lindor's batting average. He sucks. And Alexander says, you also forget that Alvarez has done a great job behind the plate with the pitching.
Yeah, he just likes to throw the ball in the center field on a useless trying to pick somebody off second base play.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's a mental lapse.
I think the kid is going to be good. He's young.
Yeah.
He's young. So they're going to make those rookie mistakes. And
hey, great. We can get everybody out. We can, every single time we swing the bat, we can hit a home run, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Moving along, though, Grumpy. We've got here Goon Goon Grump.
The famous Lastings game. I'm pretty certain those jerks wound up actually losing that game.
Oh, shit. Verstappen wins again. It looks like Red Bull Racing won't be beaten this year. We should all go to Vegas for that race. Let's talk a little F1, Grumpy. Did you do any F1 homework this weekend?
I did not. But my boy
Grumpy.
Verstappen won again. I like him. I hope he wins every single race. He's the man. You know how many races I've seen in person?
None.
Zero.
I've never been to an auto race ever. And
So-
I mean, from where I live in Charlotte, I absolutely, should have seen a race, but I just,
It's Charlotte Motor Speedway.
yeah. I mean, they have a bunch of them every year. They have, a whole bunch of stuff, and I just never know.
They have what is it? They have the I think they have an F1 race there, don't they?
No.
No.
Oh, I thought they did. My bad.
X, that's NASCAR, dude. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton was named the driver of the day. Now, this one I'll put up. Now, I'll ask you about this, and we're going to have to get somebody else's opinion on this too. So they do this where they deduct you points, apparently, if you come close to hitting a guy's car or something like that. I can't
Robin's
say.
racing, baby.
Was that X?
Not in Formula One, it's not, or Indy racing.
If you rub an Indy car's X,
Robin's
your car
racing.
explodes. Yeah, that's not the same.
They're not built the same as NASCAR.
Yeah,
vehicles,
they
stock
didn't.
cars.
So here's a few things. Zhao wasn't even half a car in front. They didn't touch a Yoki stick to the racing line. So I'll let you watch it. This guy was given a penalty for this, and it prevented him from getting points. I'll let you watch it. And I don't know. To me, I'm like, how the hell is this called a penalty? And the F1 community seems a little upset by it. But, just me as a guy who would casually, I guess I'll watch a clip or two. I'm like, it looks like a nothing burger. So because that guy had to zip out of the way here, whoop, and he had to zip out of the way at the last second, that's what he was called a penalty on.
And the penalties on the red
Yeah,
steering wheel
22.
guy?
Yes.
That doesn't seem right. I mean, he's entitled to the space. This guy's trying to come up
Cut
from
him off.
on the side on him.
He's
Right?
trying to
What
get
am I supposed to do?
inside.
Just let everybody just pass right around me? Say, come
Yeah,
on in, open lanes. Please take your spot. Yeah, no, I don't get that. So that's what happened. The guy was over here in the post-game presser or the post-race presser. Now, I don't know if you could see it. There looks like there's tears on his face.
Maybe it's sweat.
No, okay. You don't
My
get
God, he looks like he's about 14 years old.
he looks young as hell.
Yuki, you're shaking your head. You probably feel you deserve some points today.
For us, to be honest, it's yeah. After I gave it literally everything, every lap, and I feel like it's really harsh that penalty. To be honest, in my perspective, and there's still space there, and just other car suddenly run off the area and pretend like he got forced, but there was still space. He could still stay in the track. So in my perspective, I don't know, but it's hard to accept the reality that I lost points after that big race. So yeah, it's disappointed. Yeah, really disappointed.
So I thought he was crying a little bit when I took a quick glance because it looked like there was a little bit of water. Maybe it's just maybe
he's
just
sweating.
perspires underneath his. Like it looks like that's like the way his contours of his face, his tears would run. But maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, you think about it, those freaking helmets,
They're hot
They're
as hell.
hot
I'm
in
sure.
there.
Yeah.
they're hot in there.
Yeah. So.
Especially this race was in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe
Freaking
Mr.
hot.
Fuji threw salt in his eyes.
Was that?
No.
Mr. Fuji, the old wrestler, Mr. Fuji, he throws salt in his opponent's eyes to blind him and then pin him for the 1, 2, 3.
So
No,
you're
that
talking
was
old
wrong.
WWE Grumpy?
Yes. Actually, WWF.
Did he
Mr.
sound like he was like Australian? His
English?
accent sounded.
English?
Yeah, I was gonna say either English or Australian. The way his accent sounded.
Yeah, he sounded like he was from England.
Yeah.
Like
I
feel
just didn't know if they had like many like.
Here's the thing.
To me, he sounded Australian. I didn't really know that if like Australians were F1 racers.
What's his name?
couldn't tell you.
It's not Verstappen. He's the champion, baby.
Oh, goodness gracious. Here you go, Alexander Grumpy.
Grumpy, how is this not on Buck? He's a terrible manager. Why do you think every team has won when he left? Every team he's left has not won, but I don't think Buck's a terrible manager. I think it's a poorly constructed roster. We talked about it in the offseason. I don't think anything has changed. I didn't like their offseason. Yet last year, San Diego beat them in the playoff. Joe Musgrove had a great game 3, and that or whatever it was. And I mean, you can't say that he didn't do great things with the Mets last year. This year, I just don't like the way the team's constructed. And everyone says, well, Buck won't play the rookies. Well, he's playing the rookies. And guess what? They're not as good as – I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but there's always a learning curve when you have a rookie.
Sure.
They might come out, great for a couple of weeks, a month, and all of a sudden they cool off and they go into a big slump. Maybe they even get sent back down because their confidence is wrecked. They have a lot of those guys on this team. The Vientos kid, Alvarez, Batty / Beatty.
Beatty for Sun X. It's Beatty, not Batty.
Okay. But they're all young guys who still need to learn what it's like to be a major league ball player. And it just takes time. They didn't even get, they let McCann go, who I thought would have been a good catcher to use, as a veteran for Alvarez. And the guy that they brought in gets hurt, right? So now they're forced to play Alvarez. I don't know. I just don't like the construction of the team. Sorry.
Buck is responsible for the collapse last year, and Escobar is batting .415 with over 1K on base plus slugging since April. Nimmo and Alonso are combined 10 and 60 since the Colorado series.
Yeah, not good. And that's the thing, right? Now, Nimmo was much more consistent than Alonso is.
Sure, I agree with that.
Alonso can carry a team, though, when he gets hot.
When he's hot like that.
Absolutely can carry a team, like Aaron Judge can do. There's a whole bunch of guys in Major League who can just carry teams. Nimmo's not that guy. Nimmo's much more consistent. I think he's been pretty rock solid all year. You're talking about, and every batter's going to go through a slump. Everybody doesn't hit 400 all year. It doesn't happen.
Well, let's put this up here. Now, last year, we talked about the fantastic success of Aaron Judge. Is it repeatable? Can he do this next year? No way. Well, just to show you guys the barometer of Aaron Judge through 47 games last year in 2022, when he broke Roger Maris's record, and this year through 2023, he's got the same exact amount of home runs through 47 games. He's got one more RBI. He's got 2 more runs. He's got more walks. His average is a little bit lower. On base is higher, meaning he's walking more, and his slugging percentage is higher. Let me ask you this about Aaron. You don't even know the question I'm about to ask.
It doesn't matter. It's through 47 games for the year. He missed time. He was on the disabled list this year, so he will not be coming close to that record from last year. He's been extremely hot the last couple of weeks, really hot.
Well, more the question I'm about to ask is a guy like Aaron Judge. Would you say so far, at least, I'd say he's earning his paycheck. He's earning the money he received, right?
He's playing well.
Yes, I agree.
I think he's done a fantastic job. And this is a guy to where the crazy thing, Son X, and I want to ask Son X's opinion about this because X has been a little quiet, but isn't it nuts that we get to see two probably the greatest players in the history of the MLB, in the history of the sport, that's ever laced up cleats that are playing at the same time in the same exact conference? You got Shohei Ohtani, who's probably the best that's ever played the game.
Best baseball player of all time.
Was that X?
Best baseball player of all time.
Best baseball player of all time. And you've got Aaron Judge over here, who might be
second best,
one of the greatest hitters of all time. Probably better. Honestly, probably puts Babe Ruth to shame. X, I want to get your opinion on it.
I mean, it's just crazy time period to be alive. I mean, two of the greatest, actually,
both clean.
The two greatest.
Both never touched a steroid too, Grumpy. I want to get your opinion too, Grumpy.
No steroids.
About that.
Steroid free, all natural.
This is typical millennial bullshit because we don't even, I don't know, probably your knowledge only goes back to 2010. But you know, back in the 1970s, 60s, and 70s, you had Hank Aaron and Willie Mays.
Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Playing at the same time, where you know Willie Mays might arguably been the greatest talent of all time, a true 5-tool player, right? Stealing bases, hitting home runs, great arm, hit for average, all that stuff. I'm going to discard the early years with Babe Ruth because his thing, I wasn't around for that. Everyone knows Babe Ruth and the great players that played back then. Lou Gehrig, get 2 of them on the same freaking team.
That was back when they were throwing 65-mile-an-hour meatballs right down.
Oh my God!
Come on.
So, come on. And the balls were made. They were like bean bags they were throwing at them too. No. So it's like they didn't travel. No. But here's the thing. Again, is Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani excellent players? Absolutely. They are not 2 of the all-time greats of the game. I remember the 1971 All-Star game where you had Johnny Bench. You just look at the lineups. It's like Hall of Famers up and down the lineups almost on both teams.
It's in his name where he should be. Come on.
Grump. I'll say this. Right. I will. All kidding aside, right? Because we're joking around.
He's playing well, though, Judge.
He's playing extremely well. I'd say this, too. A guy like Aaron Judge, a performance like this year and last year tied together, I think he makes the Hall of Fame. If he stays healthy a little longer.
Oh, you stop.
He's got to win. He's got to win a World
He's going to make the Hall of Fame. You don't think he'll make the Hall of Fame, Grumpy?
No.
Right now? No.
No, he's going to continue to play, unless he doesn't have a debilitating back. He's
a big guy. Big guys don't last as long.
Sometimes they do.
The shit starts breaking down.
You can just play DH now. When shit starts breaking down, they slide that bat into the DH spot, Grump.
Okay.
That's what they did for Big Papi.
He only played DH.
Big Papi made the Hall of Fame.
Didn't he used to be a first baseman?
Occasionally.
When he was with Minnesota for a couple of games. No, he was DH only.
I thought he was a first baseman.
No.
Okay.
That was his fielding position, but it's not where he played.
Remember Pablo Sandoval also?
The Panda, baby.
Come to Panda.
Yep.
The
God, he was huge. Him and Prince Fielder, too, man. Prince Fielder was a big boy. Yep. Prince Fielder was DH.
Think about it. Prince Fielder was really good for a couple of years, and he just disappeared.
He
Yeah.
ate himself
And
out.
that's hard for a guy like that to disappear. He's a big guy.
Yeah, man. He was good though. He was freaking dominant.
And he just, when he didn't produce anymore, he just stopped producing.
I'm pulling up here. Do you remember when Pablo Sandoval got into that collision in the Mexican League game?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
Yes, that's
Because
what
I know
I'm
you just something you just must have seen. It's not like this is on the top of your. Oh, I know that.
Oh, do you not remember?
Why don't you tell us how Sunday ticket is $35, Jen? 350. Go to your travel agent, defensive back Cooper, to get NFL's Sunday ticket for $35. That's right, 350, $35.
Oh my God, he had a collision at home plate. I'm trying to look back through this. It was Pablo Sandoval. It was in the Mexican League game.
I'm sure he won that railroad.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Don't you worry. Here it is. I found it. I had to find it. I was trying to remember if you could stall for a second or two, Grumpy, while I was trying to get it up.
I did, and you couldn't pull it up.
Shitty
Did the
job.
catcher have to be carted off the field?
I'll let you watch it here.
Oh boy.
In the Mexican League game.
Oh boy.
Chugging.
Oh boy.
Look at Pablo Sandoval.
Oh,
First off, look at we talk about how he ate himself in the league. Look at Pablo
dead.
Sandoval as he's rounding this base. Oh, come on.
He's dead. Killed him.
He didn't even attempt to slide.
No.
Oh, God damn. Let me refresh this.
You know what? He said, I'm a middle linebacker. I'm going to block tackle this little running back here.
He
looks
is.
like, you want to know who he
He's
looks
on
like?
a few
Look at
pounds.
the teeth. He's gritting. Yeah. He's
He
got
looks
the
like
teeth.
Vince Wilfork coming through. And this is the quarterback right here.
Vince Wilfork.
He just runs him over and doesn't even go down.
That's what I say. It didn't even stop. It barely even stopped his motion. That's the really
crippled that
scary
guy.
thing. Was that X?
I said he crippled the catcher. He has to be carted off the field.
Fuck. They do bring out the ambulance.
I know.
Ba-boom!
Oh, man. This could pass.
I don't see anybody coming out of the.
Holy shit, is he
dugout.
seizing up?
No, he's not seizing up. He's like, I got hit by a truck.
He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what week it is.
It was a tie game, baby, in the top of the seventh, and Sandoval wasn't going to be stopped.
Did he hold on to the ball?
No, didn't
No.
see the ball fly. Pew!
No, I saw his helmet. I saw his helmet and his little bucket helmet fly
I don't know
off.
if Sandoval. I don't know if he touched the plate though.
He sure as hell touched the catcher. I'll tell you that right
Why
now.
don't you show Pete Rose and Ray Fosse in the 1970
No,
All-Star
we're
game?
good. Jesus Christ.
No. Again, nope. Sorry. Dictator TJ says nope. We'll watch Pablo Sandoval in some Mexican League game, but we're not going to show Pete Rose running over Ray Fosse. That's the most famous one of all time. We're not showing that one. Just unilaterally say no freaking
The
way.
reason Pablo Sandoval was brought up is because X brought up Pablo Sandoval. I said, do you happen? He ate himself out of the league. Have you seen him most recently? We'd shown that. It was a callback. We'd shown that on the show, Grumpy. That's the only reason I know about it. So I called it back to show it again because X wasn't part of the show at that time. And now we're like, let's go down the Pete Rose rabbit hole. Jesus Christ, Grumpy. That's how you end up on a show.
No,
for 3.5
we're not
hours.
putting it on there, period.
Today's show isn't going to be ending till 12 a.m. Strap yourselves in, ladies and
Because we
gentlemen.
can't show you that 7-second clip.
Yeah, because it goes from Monday. Say,
Why don't we
TJ,
put up
let's
another
do this
We
now.
Hoopin' thing for 15 minutes?
Woo! We hooping.
Somebody send us We Hoopin'. That would actually
We
be insane.
hooping. Let's get it playing.
Next.
The grandpa.
Hold on. I'm about to show you, Grumpy. I'm about to go ahead and pull up your little thing, your precious little thing, Grumpy. All right, Pete Rose. All
Here you
right.
go, Pete Rose for Grumpy.
In an all-star game.
Yeah, I know. You tell us about it all the time. You know what, Grumpy?
Major League Baseball was promoting this when they put out, hey, watch Major League Baseball. Bam! Ray Fosse just died like in the last year, too. Last year, I believe.
Okay, here you go, Grumpy. I'll let you watch this. Enjoy. Knock your kicks off, Grumpy old man. Well, of course, we get a nice.
Why do I got to watch commercials? Why don't you have this thing all set up before you put it up there?
Because he knew that you wanted to watch this commercial.
Yep, there it is. You did want to watch this commercial, Grumpy. Don't lie. Okay.
Pete Rose played baseball at one speed, and that gear was on full display in 1970. The
Head
game
first sliding.
in the bottom of the 12th when Charlie Hustle
Hey, pause
rounded
it for a
third
second.
looking to score on a Jim Hickman single.
Did you notice Pete Rose was
You
not
see what I
wearing-
mean? This is not a 7-second clip.
Pete
This
Rose.
is a let's go take 5 or 10 minutes and talk about Pete Rose, and then let's talk about
Did
Mickey
you notice-
Mantle,
did you
and
notice
then
one
Babe
thing about-
Ruth and fucking
you-
everybody else.
Did you notice one thing? Pete Rose wasn't wearing some type of oven mitt halfway up his arm and 6 gloves on the other hand and some type of super stuff on his elbow and his legs. Nope, just bare skin. Go ahead, roll it.
Athletes are a lot bigger than these tiny little.
Yeah, no, those athletes were tougher than the softies that got out there today.
The athletes back then would have got fucking steamrolled.
What would be the song they'd be singing?
Steamrolled.
Grump, what would
Baseball
be the
players are
song?
basically the same
What-
size.
Grump, what would be the song they'd be singing for the soft players of this time period?
That'd be the song.
Hey, Ray Grumpy?
Hi, Mr. Softy. Can we have the Major League Baseball base sliding specials? Just got to slide into there. Hold on. Make sure you got your little mitten on. We don't want you to risk an injury. Wear your little glove up to your wrist. We don't want you to get raspberries.
I
Got a
feel this.
little injury there.
Ugh.
Oh, don't worry. You need a maintenance day? That's fine. Everybody else played 162 games a year, double headers back to back. Nope, not today. Don't worry. Take a day off. He played 6 games in a row. He needs a day off. And he gets paid $32 million a year. How much do the old timers get paid? $500 a game. A little bit different. It's chilly. It's 70 degrees out. We're playing to November, but hey, it's too hot. Let's have a water break, everybody. Break out the orange slices and the juice boxes.
Don't worry, we'll show you these little tiny little
Pete
pitches.
Rose
Just
played
look at this,
baseball
Ruby.
at one speed.
Look at him going.
Look at
Boom,
his
into the wall. You don't see him collapsing.
Aaron Judge.
They just reach up and catch that, but little midgets like here, Rose over. I gotta jump into the wall because I'm too small, too freaking.
It's a concrete wall. Bounce
Aaron
right
Judge.
off.
Aaron Judge out for 6 weeks.
Aaron Judge runs through
Hurt his
the
foot.
wall today.
He got a foot injury.
Boom! Aaron Judge ran through the wall, grumpy old man. Made the catch and ran through the wall.
was a
Pete
gate.
Rose,
It
Pete
wasn't a
Rose
wall,
after
it was a
like
gate.
that would have been paralyzed.
He
Grumpy.
ran into a
Paralyzed.
gate.
That
They didn't
gear
lock
was
the
on
gate.
full
Look at
display
this.
in
Look
1970.
at this. Diving in. Oh, he does have one glove on. Hey, diving in. Whoa! No gloves. No
was on
mittens.
full display in
No oven
1970.
mitts.
Hey, bad news. He was thrown out at that play.
The game was tied in the bottom of the 12th when Charlie Hustle rounded third looking to score on a
Jim
Jim
Hickman.
Hickman single.
Yep.
And suddenly, Ray Fosse was all that stood between Rose.
Okay, look how small the catcher is. He's all the way up the line. Look how tiny the catcher is. My God.
He's not all the way up the line in a second.
Smoke the hell out
Look
of
at
him.
how tiny he is. He looks like a stick figure out there on
He's
the
not
field.
all the way up the line in a second or two.
Here's my thing. I can't tell if it was an intentional hit or it looks like he's stumbling and falling into him. It's honestly what it
Well,
looks
I don't
like.
think what he wanted to do is like screw it. I think he was gonna do a head first slide. Like, nope, he's too far up. I'm gonna bulldoze.
It's
him.
like, look, he starts stumbling. You can tell he's stumbling.
He stumbled a little bit earlier, but then he's like, okay, I got my bearings. I know what I was gonna slide. He's too far up the line. I'm gonna bulldoze him.
Christ almighty.
Stood between Rose and a National League win.
Boom!
Oh my God.
The more I look at it, he didn't stumble. He just lowered his shoulder a little bit. Yeah, and he's trash talked him too.
He is starting to stumble well earlier. Jesus Christ, you kidding me? He's
He went to avoid the bat.
stumbling
The
right
bat was
here.
laying there. Here's the thing: a modern day player would have slipped and broke his ankle on the bat. He just overcome. He adapted. He lowered. He twisted. He turned it. Bam! Run over the
Well,
catch.
with the rules nowadays, yes, Pete Rose probably would have broke his ankle and been out for multiple weeks, and then people would suffer with their fantasy team. That's correct. That would probably happen nowadays.
Rose, the guy I would have had on my fantasy team every year.
I'm hinting at O'Neal Cruz.
Christ.
Isn't he on your team?
Yes, that's my point.
Okay, let's continue watching along here, huh?
The coach left Fosse with a separated shoulder. And
Oh,
Rose
shit.
apologetic about his effort to win.
I did start to slide, but he left me no recourse because there was no place to slide. And there's no sense in ever sliding into a bag if you can't get the bag.
Was Pete Rose's collision with Ray Fosse the greatest moment in All-Star Game history? Cast your vote to decide at MLB.com/.
Was it the greatest moment in All-Star Game
It was
history?
tremendous.
It's like, yeah, fuck you. I just separated your shoulder, but guess what? We got the win.
And Ray Fosse was never the same after that.
I bet
He was
not.
never the same.
Yeah, they just don't.
And I like Ray Fosse while playing for the Oakland A's. My favorite team as a kid, and won a World Series in '73 and '74 with that team. And he was actually their color commentator for a long time till he passed away last year.
Mhm.
Always liked Ray Fosse, but Pete Rose, he played the game tough. X, you remind me a little bit of Pete Rose back in the day.
I was sticking it to him out there.
Are you about to ask X for money or something like that, Grumpy, to be lining his ass with a lie that blatant, Grumpy old man?
No. X was tough.
He knows what's up. He knows the vibes.
Oh man, okay. Now that we took 5-10 minutes to go over that, like I knew it wouldn't be a 7-second long clip. Let's
It
get
was more fun than whenever you were bringing up.
Alrighty, goon grump.
You can't single just out Lindor for not giving a flying fart amidst poor play. Remember the jerky Jets last year showing up to games dressed in costumes while their season was swirling down the dumper.
Yeah, some people just don't care about winning as much as others do. And as a fan, there's nothing that aggravates you more when you see is like, our guys are more caring about having a good time or the relationships they have or the friendships they have on a team on the ice, not on the ice, but in the cul-de-sac. Yeah, it's kind of hard to, I don't know, when you've got a team like that.
I think it's just a Long Island thing.
Maybe. JP said, I pray Machado wakes up before the second week of June, Grumpy.
I'm going to send you a trade request today, JP.
I love Brownie, Grumpy.
You know who I want. My little Brownie says U.S. Open ends COVID vax requirement for international travelers. I'll be back in New York City to see Jokic play. Yay. No Nadal. I expect him to win the French.
Oh, they still had that intact. I thought they got rid of that stuff. I don't know. I guess I don't keep up enough.
Well, maybe it was the U.S. Open had that in place.
Inter Milan against Man City this Saturday. Who will be watching?
I'll be watching.
I'll probably watch too, but I think it's a
predictions.
I think Man City's winning that.
Man City.
Inter Milan wins. Romelu Lukaku 2 goals.
Now, do you think it's because of the Croatian, the Croatian player on their team? Because apparently in the last I think 10 Champions League teams that have won have all had a Croatian player on their team.
Yep. Yeah. You look at like Modric, Perisic, etc. Yeah.
They all have had a Croatian player on their team, and Man City does not have a Croatian player on their team.
Guaranteed.
Okay. I think this cycle gets broken though.
So do I.
I think Man City is the best team in the world right now. I don't think there's any question for number 2.
I 100% agree with you, X. I'm not a Man City fan, but they have been the best team in the world this year.
They're
class.
class.
No doubt about it. They're good. Really good. Holland, picking up Holland.
That's a game changer.
They could never get over the hump.
Yeah, I don't like Man City either, but yeah, they're damn good.
They are.
I don't know. I just can't.
I'm rooting for Inter, by the way.
I'm rooting for Inter as well. So that's why it's maybe affecting my thought process. I'm pulling for Inter big time.
Do we want to cycle this into the Ibrahimovic?
Sure. Zlatan Ibrahimovic retired today from football. He was in his 40s, I think, too.
41.
Yep.
41 years old. Stepping away.
Zlatan.
I pray that you brought up some type of little highlight package of Zlatan.
Okay, here's the thing. We really hold on, Grumpy.
I can't play any of the soccer stuff, otherwise they take us down.
Thank you, X. How long have you been a part of the podcast, X?
Well, I just know because we've had other soccer stuff that's been played and they've stripped us.
I think it's the stuff you pick. If you go by something fly-by-night soccer in general.
All of these international leagues have very, very strict copyright policy. If you use at all their information and media without their express use or whatever, they're going to go ahead and they're going to remove our video across multiple countries. So, and one of those are the United States, where the majority of the viewers of this show.
Okay, well, people, just take it from us. Zlatan was really good. We have nothing to show you to prove it. You just take our word for it.
Here's all you
And
need
here's
to
the
know.
thing.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, when he decided to come to the United States and play for, I think it was LA Galaxy.
LA Galaxy. LeBron.
He went
James.
ahead and took out a 2-page ad in the newspaper which said, "I am here." LeBron James sent him a jersey. LeBron James sent him a LeBron James jersey and said, "Welcome to LA Lion." He went ahead and signed it and sent it back to LeBron. That's the kind of guy Zlatan was.
He had an ego. He had an ego.
Yes. But phenomenal player. He backed it up though.
Yes.
Imagine like for those wrestling fans that are out there, it was kind of like that.
Yes.
You kind of took it somewhat serious, but in the same token, you knew it was kind of
He's like a real life version of the Dos Equis guy in the Dos Equis commercial, the most interesting man in the world. Like they make jokes. There was no halftime in soccer until Zlatan had to take a phone call midway through the game. Then they decided to make halftime.
He was, if for Ted Lasso fans, he was like Zava.
He was the inspiration behind Zava. Absolutely, he was.
Yeah.
So
Great.
But he was tremendous. We saw him live in Charlotte, and he scored a goal.
Yep.
And he was everything as advertised. Even then, he was,
for a guy as big as he is, and for those unfamiliar with soccer, for a big guy, it's really tough for them to move with the ball well. Just is, because they've got a whole bunch of guys who are a lot quicker, who can poke at the ball away. But for a guy his size, the way he moved with the ball was unmatched for his big. He was a guy who wasn't known for speed or anything like that, but on the ball he just had fantastic. It's like with Cristiano, just for how big they are, how well they move with the football is just so beautiful.
Well, Cristiano's 6 foot. This guy's 6'5".
He's 6'2". This guy's 6'5". Cristiano's 6'2".
I don't think Cristiano was 6'2". I think he was 6 foot or 6'1". But Zlatan's 6'5".
Yeah, he's 6'5". And the thing is, he could do dribble moves that other players couldn't.
Just can't.
Ronaldo's 6'2", confirmed.
All time great player.
Bicycle kicks. He had, I remember against Sweden, he had a bicycle kick from I want to say 35, 40 meters out. Just ridiculous stuff. He's an incredible player.
Yeah.
Look
up his highlights on YouTube. They're out there all the time.
A legend gone.
And yes, a legend gone. And in his retirement speech today, it was during a game, and the opposing team's fans were booing. And of course, Zlatan being Zlatan, he comes out there and says, "Stop booing. This is the highlight of your year." Like that type of shit. He's just imagine he's like a WWE wrestler, except in the body of a soccer player. And he did a lot of this type of stuff where some of it's true, some of it's real. I think who he is, because he was very poor growing up. If you watch his background story, very, very poor growing up, as a lot of these world football players are, very poor growing up. And he was in a spot to where he was on loan and he was leading the league in goals. And they're like, "Well, we can't pay you. The money has to go to your parents because we can't pay you via rules of XYZ via this province. You're not old enough to get paid." And then his response was, "I'm not old enough to lead the league in goals, but I'm doing that." And he said his next paycheck was in his account. It's the stories like that are just fantastic surrounding a guy like Zlatan. He retires, he steps away from AC Milan at the age of, was it 41 or 42 years old, Grumpy? 41. The Lion, absolutely an iconic player.
It's funny because this generation has had so many great players who are aging out now.
Spoiled.
Ronaldo, Messi, Zlatan.
A guy like Lewandowski, Benzema, Modric, Kroos, all of these type of players are all getting phased out as they get older.
And players that have previously been phased out. Gareth Bale was another one. He just retired recently. Iniesta was one. I mean, lots and lots of phenomenal talent.
There's always new guys coming up. Always new guys coming up, but still.
Big shoes to fill.
Yes, without a doubt. Very tough.
Yeah, so that's you're right. It's the ending. I mean, because he's the first of that class to kind of go off into the sunset. There's a lot of them that are coming close too. Like you're talking about Benzema. He's gonna be playing in the Saudi league. You talk about, and again, now when you go to the Saudi league, that's kind of the end.
It makes sense for him though.
He's 35 years old. He's a little bit injury prone now.
Sure.
He did last year. He won Ballon d'Or, which is mostly a popularity contest, but he was that much better that he won Ballon d'Or. They
He
won
was that much
Champions
better than
League,
the most
La Liga.
popular guy in the world,
Right. Which one?
which is Messi.
Right. Which, they won. Real Madrid won Champions League, La Liga, World Cup, all that stuff.
World Cup, yeah.
And this year he's been a little bit injured. He was making $25 million a year from Real Madrid, and he got offered $200 million a year for the next 2 years. How do you say, honestly, at 35 years old, when you've done it, how do you say no?
Well,
Now,
the other thing is too, he's of Muslim faith as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense as to why he would want to go play there. I mean,
he went there
he
for
can
the money.
retire there probably.
He went there for the money. He always said he wanted to retire at Lyon, which is where he came up.
Where his club he started.
But when you're making, from 25 million to 200 million,
you can't turn it down.
I don't see how you can, honestly. Real was hoping to keep him one more year because they said they would have that offer on the table, even if he spent his last year at Real. And, but it's one thing about Real Madrid. If you say you want to leave, they do everything they can to accommodate you. That's why everyone wants to play there. They treat you like like everyone's high class there. And, hey, I never thought Benzema was the greatest player in Real history, but he was really good.
All-time scoring.
Yeah. I mean, behind the great Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
And when they worked together, Benzema always took the back seat. As a striker, you expect him to be a guy who's like a false nine. What that is you're a striker, but you're more of a setup guy. And that's what he did extremely well for Cristiano Ronaldo. That team was an all-time great team. Won 4 out of 5 Champions Leagues, never been done before. And it's sad to see them all gone now, that whole front line. CBC, all gone.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like you look at it too, it's been the same thing with Barcelona, right? Like it's only a matter of time before Luis Suarez is gone. It's only a matter of time before Neymar retires. All of these guys who were just, world-class, worldly players across the board. Just fantastic players, all on the way out.
You looked at Messi was scoring 50-something goals a year. Ronaldo scoring 50, 60 goals a year. Now, he scored 20 goals. He scored 30 goals this year. That's great. And you look at these other guys who were scoring like double that.
Yeah, the big one was Haaland, I think, scored 49 goals this year in league play. Or 49, I think it was 49 goals in all play.
In
all competitions.
Yeah,
I remember Cristiano scored 75 goals in 1 year in all competitions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not the same. And Messi, the same thing with Messi. Everyone knows that I'm a Cristiano fan, but Messi too. He was scoring,
he scored 91. I think he scored 91 goals 1 year in league play, which probably will not be broken.
League and Champions League. Yeah. I mean, he's another guy put up astronomical goal totals you don't see anymore. And it's not because the goaltending is great, but those players were just exceptional.
We're just so much better than everybody else.
Yeah. True.
So yeah, you're starting to see the end of it. And X, you want to talk about something with Lionel Messi about where he might be headed?
Apparently there have been rumors that
he'd been offered to set up the image. He was offered about $400 million a year to join a Saudi league club. And hey, Cristiano against Messi lives on for one last hurrah in the Saudi league, as Lionel Messi and Cristiano be playing on opposite teams, both making hand over fist. But X, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But apparently, what the rumor is Barcelona want him to come back. They obviously have the financial fair play stuff that's going on, and what the rumor is Inter Miami is going to offer a deal with Barca where they'll help him out with the funds to pay for him. And he's going to have 18 months on loan. He's going to be owned by Inter Miami, but he'll be loaned out to Barcelona for 18 months, and then they'll bring him back. Then he'll come back to Inter Miami. But my concern is, who's to say he plays at Barca for the 18 months and says, well, I really don't want to play with you guys anymore. I'm going to retire.
Who's actually paying that money?
It would be Inter Miami.
Who's actually paying that money?
David Beckham.
There's no way that Miami's going to pay that money and not get some guarantee that he plays, or then Barca would have to pay him back. I don't believe it, because Barca cannot afford him. They flat out can't afford him because of all the shenanigans they've been playing. It's another way to circumvent financial fair play.
I think you're right.
Yep.
But if the league allows them to do it, they're going to just do it. That's the thing.
Typical. That's why like the financial fair play thing is an absolute joke, because it's like, hey, we can't go ahead and afford them. We've had sanctions placed on us, and we've been on the verge of financial ruin. But having Lionel Messi back is going to help us out.
Yeah, because what they've said is apparently Frank Lampard, this happened with him, but it was a little bit different circumstance. The owner who owned NYCFC and also owned Manchester, I think it was Manchester City at the time. So the owner who owned both of those clubs loaned him out to Man City and then brought him back to NYCFC. So it's like NYCFC owned him, but they loaned him out to Man City, but the same guy owned both teams.
And we're not going to even talk about the oil money.
Yeah.
That a lot of these state-sponsored teams.
Well, what it is they'll pay for players. So they pay them the regular salary, and then they pay them additional money through corporations and businesses.
Right.
And they'll give them, hey, sponsorship here, sponsorship there, etc.
All state-owned. So, they're circumventing the rules.
Yeah. They're paying them additional money because they're like, hey, well, we'll just pay you under the table this additional funds.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way that name, image, and likeness happened before it happened.
Yes.
Oh, hey, come to our school, and Johnny's going to go ahead and we're going to hire you. Do you remember was it Brian Braum, the quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners back in the day, who had a job as working for a car dealership but never actually showed up, and they were paying him for working at a car dealership?
I think his name was Bell.
Maybe, I don't remember what it was. It was years ago. But shit like that happens, and it's like this is just a way for them to say, hey, how can we get around these no rules that we're not supposed to be able to get around? That's really what it is. And Grumpy, continuing along here, Drew L, Grumpy old man.
I will say, as entertaining as Trevor Bauer is, he's been off to a rough start in the NBC.
Yes, he's been shelled. I think he gave up like 8 or 9 runs in his last couple of starts.
Okay, in his defense, he hasn't pitched in a year and a half.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while, right?
I just know it has not been going well.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while. Absolutely will. And Buck went absolutely senile last season, says Alexander. Drew L, Grumpy old man.
Today's vlog, Bauer posted he almost walked into a hentai store, and once he saw that, he just noped the F out of there and left my butt off.
Grumpy, what's a hentai store?
I don't remember. I know we talked about it sometime, but I don't remember. Some type of Japanese, like anime, right?
Yeah, it's like anime, Grumpy.
Yep.
No, it's Grump. It's like animated porn. So that's what hentai is.
I expect you two to know about that.
Yeah. Okay. Johnny Max says, "Good evening, DJ Grump and Son X."
What's up? I love how he pronounces it hentai. That's the thing that kills me.
Maybe we Hoopin can mention something about hentai in this.
You go hentai.
Grumpy. I heard you like hentai. Kanye the Giant, Grump.
Can you believe that your two kids are so stupid to give me money for anything that I do? Shit. Kanye the Giant says Patrick Kane just had hip surgery. I wouldn't mind the Islanders taking a chance on him if he signs for cheap. His price might be really low after the surgery. He's going to have to sign a really cheap deal. I just don't think he wants to come to the Islanders.
They're expecting to miss like 4 to 6 months.
So he will not be ready until like you got to figure what, January, by the time you're actually ready to play again.
Yep.
But he's not going to he will not get a big deal.
And he doesn't deserve one when you're out that long with injury. You know?
Agreed.
I would like to see him retire with the Blackhawks.
I mean, Dog Z has that reptilian energy, says Drew.
He does. He's like a velociraptor.
Yep.
Read
this down here from Johnny Mac.
Let X read this comment.
No, it has not. Has the water been refilled and table moved? No.
Nope.
X. Come on, X.
I've been over to the mansion.
He's avoiding coming over here.
Oh, okay. Goon Grumpy.
I just started watching the 2016 HBO series Vinyl. Did you bold bastards watch it? If so, was it a winner or a sinner? I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't watch the whole series. I think it was, I don't even know if it was more than a season.
I haven't watched. I've been watching Chuck recently, which is on HBO. Sorry, Max now. Max. I hate Max. It buffers all the time.
Have
So
you purchased Max? Yeah,
I've been
I
bumming,
think
I've
so.
been bumming,
Next
I've been
time,
bumming
please.
off you.
Oh, God.
I've been bumming off of you. Thank you,
And then
bro.
My Little Brownie.
MetLife Stadium, that's a long haul for the fans of a boring home team. They really couldn't make Mets or Yankee Stadium work. Talking about the Islanders against the Rangers.
So many people. I like. It's just like a social event because when you go to a game like that, you're not
Can't see
expecting
anything.
to see
Can't see
any
it,
MSA. Yeah.
It's too far.
Cold. It's
Usually-
just, hey, I was
That's
here.
fine.
Let's buy some merchandise.
I'll say, what was the they had a couple of games, I think it was maybe like a year or two ago. I don't know if they still did it. It was like the Lake series where they were playing like next to like lakes. There weren't any fans. It was like out in the middle of nowhere. And they had NHL games going on there. I don't remember what it was. It was like maybe in 2021.
Pond series. I don't know.
Maybe Pond series. It was cool though. It was really cool because it was just landscape in the background.
They did play one in Lake Tahoe.
Maybe that was
Not
it.
Lake Tahoe, but it was too warm. They played 2 games, but the ice was too warm.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, that might have been it.
And they had to delay it till later on because the ice. It was a complete fucking mess up and fuck up by the NHL. So
The scenery looked nice though in the background. I thought it was
South
cool.
Lake Tahoe is a beautiful area, but it's like they chose the wrong time of the season, and yeah. So get what
I just thought it was cool. You know, it was different. It's not like, okay, well, they're playing it in like a football stadium or something. It's like they were literally just playing it next to the lake.
They should have done it in the wintertime period because a lot of the people go skiing there because the slopes are really full of snow. That is the scene where Grumpy, Grumpy, you're gonna like this one. That's the lake where they took out Fredo and shot him.
Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe. That's correct. Drew
Yeah,
Allen,
but the sun came down and they couldn't play it because it turned the ice.
the sun was up too high. Yeah.
You
Drew
figured they
Allen,
would have known that before they put all that out there, but hey.
like based off of when we expect sunset to be. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I think that would be a cool idea. I wish they would bring that back and try and do that again.
I'd like they do it like they did it in Mystery Alaska. That was pretty good.
That was good. Drew L. Grumpy.
It's a good movie.
Actually, TJ, this is one for you to read. Actually, I'll read it. TJ, why is it that every time you get your point proven right, and every time you get your point proven right, and every time you want to stress that you always have to lean sideways into your mic? You know, Grumpy is straight ahead, right?
I make sure that Grumpy hears it just like this. I said, "That's right,
hear
Grumpy. That's right." I like to
Maybe
move my head around.
maybe he has somebody who's in his door or something at his house with a gun pointed to him. If he doesn't do that every time, that's why he keeps having to look over there. I don't
Can we see that again, TJ? With you,
You know how
trying to
Grumpy
do-
does? You know how X does this little neck thing, the little serpent neck.
The serpent neck is not the same as the freaking Joker neck like that. You know?
I feel like a WWE wrestler, like how the Rock used to go, and he used to do like that. Like that's what I feel like when I'm saying I'm right. I feel like the Rock, Grumpy.
Really?
You're not
What
the
was-
Rock.
Tell
You'll
us
never
what
be
one of
The
one of the Rock's catchphrases was.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? That's what he used to do.
X, why don't you do it?
No, I can't even.
You want to do
try.
back to back? Jesus Christ, X or Grumpy. Drew L. Grumpy. Keep reading comments.
Hey, Grumpy. Hey, Grumpy just did the classic Islander fan thing, moving the goalpost.
That's right, he did. TJ, you're thinking of Tyler 1, not Tyler T Sports.
Oh.
Shit. Okay, I'm
I
must
know
be thinking
Tyler
about
T.
somebody else.
Sports
I don't know who Tyler T Sports is then. Gungun says, whatever happened to the Bagel Boss guy? Should we watch the classic video again to remind everyone? I remember when we first showed Grumpy, he was not too enthralled about Bagel Boss because it was a little bit.
I've seen the commercials 100 times. I don't need to see them.
No, not the, Jesus Christ. Am I talking to two people who have never been on the fucking internet before?
Bagel Boss.
Oh, stop. You don't know who Bagel Boss is.
No.
Oh, give me a second. My God.
He's the boss. It's like Cake Boss. Is it like Cake Boss?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Give me a second here. I want to try to get the short video, so I'm not going to get a huge freaking thing of Bagel Boss guy. Holy crap. There's a tragic downfall of the Bagel Boss guy. I'll show you him. Okay, here he is.
What happened to Bagel Boss?
Okay, give me a second.
He's selling Bialys instead of bagels, I think.
No, it's
got
this
ran out of
guy.
business.
Do you not remember this
Yeah,
clip
I'm
from Bagel Boss?
Great. Why is it okay for women to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
you know,
Short King.
you should be dead? That's okay.
said that to you here? Nobody.
Women in general have said it on dating sites. You think I'm making that shit up? Everywhere I go, I get the same fucking smirk with the biting lip. Shut your mouth. You're not God or my father or my boss.
What's this guy, 4 foot tall?
Dude, you want to step outside? You want to step outside? Huh? I'm not.
Look how tiny is his belly button comes up to the guy's
yeah, it's like his head comes up to the guy's navel.
Enough. You shut up too. You said, no, go ahead and attack me, big.
Oh,
I recorded the whole thing.
Okay, I don't know why this fucking maniac tackled the other guy.
Yeah.
He said, "You want to step outside? I'm gonna fuck you up." And then he was like,
"It was another guy who got in there."
He went Mackay Becton on him. That's it.
Oh,
Mackay
can we see that one? Let's see that one.
No, God damn it, Trump. We're done with Mackay Becton.
Sorry, my fault.
You
Why
do
is
this.
it okay for women to say, "Oh, you're 5 feet on dating sites. You should be dead"? That's okay.
You're 5 feet on
he's
dating
short.
sites. You should be
He's a little
dead.
midget. Okay, all right. So people are calling him short. Well, okay.
Oh, he's a short king, Grumpy. You can't
But
be
he
saying
is
that to the short
short.
kings. But he's a king, Grumpy. You can't say that to the short kings.
But, dude, you are short.
Grumpy.
I don't think people should be
There's
saying that
nothing
you
wrong
should
with
be
being
dead.
short. He's got a little that little Napoleon complex going on, though.
They shouldn't be saying you should be dead because you're
I
short.
bet he's not
like
5
that,
foot tall. He's probably 4'11" and a half.
I'm wondering what led up to this argument.
She probably went shorts. Do you want shortcake? Oh, I mean bagels. I thought maybe you wanted some shortcake on the side with that.
That's it.
Stop.
I have no idea what led up to this.
Does this have anything to do with sports?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with sports. So we've got it brought up here, Grumpy. No, this is the Bagel Boss comment that freaking Goon had mentioned. There's apparently a tragic downfall with Bagel Boss. And now I'm going to have to look this up afterwards because obviously Grumpy doesn't want to invest the time into figuring out what happened with Bagel Boss.
What happened to Bagel Boss?
No, keep reading comments, I guess.
By the way, when you're done seeing my memes, I'll show you a picture of Tyler T Sports.
Oh, God.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
I'll have to pull that up there in a second. Okay.
Meatball Parm says, "Good evening."
What's
James-
up, Meatball?
Yo.
Hold on, man. There's a good evening there, Grumpy. We can't forget that amazing face here, Grumpy.
True.
I mean, that's him getting ready for 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Glizzy eating contest.
Oh,
Actually, I think it was the Carvel feeding
4th of
TJ.
July.
Feeding
Glizzy
TJ
does
Carvel
contest.
ice cream. He just puts his head under the spigot.
and Volpe with the blast. Yankees up 4-1. Master Fuji, Yui Dicky, Bonsai. Is that what he used to say? Is that what he used to say, Grumpy?
Actually, no. Bonsai was what Yokozuna
Miyagi.
used to say.
Mr. Miyagi used to say bonsai.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
but
Before
yeah,
he would
he
take
was-
the shots.
only when he was drunk.
Yeah.
Gungu says, "It's been a while since you chaps played a good old-fashioned mukbang video. We're not doing that. Let's play one and carefully monitor Grumpy's reaction."
Grumpy,
We
what do you
did
not
play a
about
mukbang. We did play a mukbang of Will Levis drinking mayonnaise coffee, and we monitored Grump's reaction. He was very enthused.
He was not a fan of it at all.
Go to the next comment real quick.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Grumpy. Next
My
comment
little-
here, My Little Brownie.
My F1 driver's name is Yuki Tasunda. He's Japanese, but sure, Australia or England is close by. I'm just saying.
He
his
sounds like
accent-
he had an English accent.
I thought he was Australian.
I could tell he was. I didn't know he was Japanese, but I could tell that he was not like English is not his first language. But he's smarter
Oh.
than me because I only know one language barely. TJ knows no languages, honestly. So this kid's like 3 times as smart as TJ. But I mean, I thought he might be Japanese.
No.
There it is, Grumpy. Moving along here, Drew L. Grumpy old man.
By the way, let's talk about probably the most underrated Major League Baseball player right now, Luis Arraez Jr. He's batting like 375. Yeah, but
Damn.
he's just a slapper. He's good
You want to
fouling.
know who else is a slapper? Who was a phenomenal player?
Ichiro Suzuki.
Thank you very much.
Ichiro Suzuki was a hell of a slapper.
He was a slap
I'd say he's
hitter.
the best slap hitter there was in the game.
Yeah. Phenomenal. I mean, shit, by the time he hit the ball, he was already 3 steps down to freaking first base.
Yep.
He's a proud member of the Iron Triangle Screwballs.
He's going there. Okay, Grumpy. And then you got Grumpy Drew L.
Grumpy, I don't know Willie Mays, but I know Willie Mays Hayes.
There it is.
The California
Hey,
Penal League in strikeouts, in stolen bases. Wesley Snipes played him in Major League.
He's the say hey kid, Willie Mays.
The say hey kid.
And the best thing they did, you know, in the Major League movie, he got a commercial. He doesn't steal home without it. You know, like an American Express card, you saw him stealing home plate, sliding across. I don't steal home without it. It was cute. I don't know if you knew. Anybody remember what the old? Well, I'm sure the people on the podcast who listen know. Do either one of you two goofs know the American Express?
Yeah, something like I never leave home without it.
That's right. I never leave home without it. X didn't know. He didn't know.
I don't think X gives a fuck based off of that reaction, Grump.
When did that ad campaign come out?
It was their ad campaign for like forever.
Well, how long's forever?
15 years.
Okay, when did it come out?
I don't know. I don't know exactly.
Let's go midnight show, please. No. Goon Grumpy.
Son X, are you more hopeful about the Islanders next season than tactful TJ or grape drinking Grumpy?
You know what? I think if they make some nice moves during the offseason, they're going to be a contending team.
Oh my God.
I think so. I'm staying on the positive route. Positive train. Boop boop. Train of positivity, baby.
You think they should keep Lou Lamoriello at 81 years old?
No, I agree with you guys there. No, I think he should be gone. I think they need to bring in some players, though. They need to change some things up.
I think we could keep everything the same and we'll be in good shape.
No, that hasn't worked. You're going to get the same results you got this year. Or even worse.
JP, grumpy old man.
Pete Rose injuring Fossey in All-Star game. LOL. I have ambivalence about that.
Got another comment here. Grumpy old man from JP saying ad block plus is outstanding. And James F says, great win by the Yankees. TJ, please show the bad judgment by the Dodgers. Getting picked off at first, losing 4-1. Okay.
True.
8 homers by the Yanks in the Dodger series. And Mr. Softy chocolate shakes. Yum. JP also says, to be fair, amphetamines, cocaine, and beer is an interesting nutritional cocktail to stay in the lineup.
No.
And joking might drop 45 this game. And to be honest, by the way, genuine question, when's Daniel Freeman going to be on the Islanders Never Say That podcast? Soon. I got to get everything. I've reached out to a few people. I got a whole bunch of more people I got to reach out to, but soon. James F. Grump.
Grumpy is North Dallas 40 based on the Raiders team. First time hearing this. Heard this on another podcast. Well, whatever podcast you listen to, don't listen to them anymore because they're dumbasses. No, it was based on the Dallas Cowboys. And Peter Gent, Gent, was the writer, and he did it with his time with the Dallas Cowboys. So whatever podcast you listen to, they're fucking losers and don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Hold on. The Nuggets blew the lead?
Yeah, dude, they're gonna lose. It's 104.95 right now. They gotta tighten it up.
It's 107.95, 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're ahead of me.
So they're done, is what that means. Okay. Mario Vargas, Grumpy.
That Lake Tahoe game was the Winter Classic and was originally scheduled to be played in 2020, but due to the pandemic, it was postponed for a year.
Yeah, that's right. It was I liked it though. I was enjoyable. I really liked it. I wish they'd bring something like that back.
James, I said, Grumpy, is that you in the bagel video?
I'm a lot taller than that guy.
Oh!
And way tougher too.
Sure,
I just like how he's looking up at the guy. You couldn't even, all you saw was like the bottom of the guy's chest. He's like, hey, you want to take me? I just.
Why the hell did he tackle the guy, though? Come on.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live. Yeah, Randy Newman.
Oh, God.
The old short people song.
The true L.
I think the Islanders can make some offseason moves. The NHL just needs to remove the salary cap and your general manager.
And Lou's offseason plan is like me after drinking 7 beers and only getting 4 hours of sleep that same day. Pure hibernation.
No.
Mario Vargas says ad blocker doesn't block YouTube ads. The only browser that filters out YouTube ads is Brave. Okay, cool. Never heard of Brave. I want to talk about this. Now, did you happen to see Jose Mourinho? Now, again, talking more European football and more world football. Jose Mourinho not happy after they had played in the Europa League final. Yes, they wound up losing in pens. Now, this right here was ruled as, well, his hand was close enough to his body. It was pretty much in tight with his body, so not a handball in the box. Which
terrible call. Terrible call.
Yeah, it was in the box like that. I mean, holy shit. It's just like the consistency is not there. Did you happen to see any of the videos of Jose Mourinho after the match?
Yeah, he was saying effing idiot. He was coming out. He was bashing the ref.
And he got fined.
You know what, though? He said everybody else was thinking, and he said it's a fucking disgrace is what he was saying. You're a fucking disgrace. I tell you, he, in finals, his record in finals is 12-3. Or I'm sorry, 12-4 after this most recent loss. But again, like, he's a guy when it's clutch and you need to win, Jose Mourinho's your guy, right?
Yeah, he's an all-time great coach.
Roger Craig just died.
Oh, former pitcher for the New York Mets.
And 90-something years old.
Yeah, I'm just saying, gosh, he's got to be in his 80s. I was wrong. He's in his 90s.
A little older than that, Grumples. Yeah, he said that he is going to be staying. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be staying there for the club. Now, this is, I'm trying to find the video of him flipping his shit. But I'm trying to make sure it's going to be not owned by, okay, here's the Syria. Okay, here it is. This is him after the game, after the match. This is where the officials got on their bus. So I'll let you watch this, Grumpy. You don't need to watch that game. That's a blowout, Grumpy. We're going to grab your attention here.
It's a 3-point game with a minute to go.
How do you know it's a 3-point game with a minute to go?
Just roll the video. Just roll it.
Disgrace.
Can't hear it.
What do you mean? He's saying it's a fucking disgrace, man.
We can't hear it.
No, he said you're a fucking disgrace, man.
Grumpy, if you turn down the volume on your basketball game, maybe you could hear the soccer thing we're talking about.
Actually, Grumpy, you need to raise it.
It's a fucking disgrace, man.
He's speaking another language in there.
He's making sure that these officials have no incompetence as to what he said. What is he saying over there? He's not leaving anything up to question over here. He's making sure, I'm sure he's repeating the same exact thing about how you're an effing disgrace across the board, across multiple languages. I know that word.
That was not very nice. I know that word. Should drag the referees out and beat them within an inch of their lives.
Well, you say congratulations, you effing idiot.
Now, I don't know if you also saw this. He threw his medal into the crowd.
Yeah, deservingly so.
His runners-up medal. He took it, just yanked that shit. He said, "Fuck it, I'm not taking this garbage." He threw the runners-up medal into the crowd. I mean, there's only one Jose Mourinho. There will only be one Jose Mourinho.
I am Jose Mourinho.
Here he is. He threw it out there, and there's the lucky fan who got himself a Jose Mourinho.
Good for him.
Runners-up. Here it is. You want it? You want it? I don't want this shit. There you go, buddy. Whoop.
Okay, it's not like
it's like.
Okay, it's not like
he just ripped it out there.
That you make it sound. He saw the kid and he threw it to him. It's not like he's like wham, just toss it up there. He didn't do
in
that.
Anger. Get rid of that damn thing. Grumpy. All right, X. Yeah, Nuggets are down by 3. Okay. Nuggets are fighting back. We've got a few things left here to talk about. We haven't done a fan fight in a while. Now, this is an oldie fan fight, but a goodie, I'd still say. An oldie, but a goodie. Watching here this fan fight is, what's the score of the game, guys? Are we tied yet?
I don't know. It's a commercial.
Okay, X. Okay.
Oh, it's over.
It's a 5-point game. Okay. Here you go. Let's watch.
Let's fucking go!
Oh, Red's not doing much punching.
It's a quick one, but But how the hell is the guy on top just getting pounded by the guy on bottom? I'm still kind of curious about
It's
that.
like he's letting him hold his shirt, and I don't know what he's doing. Maybe just thinking he can
Oh
wear
my
him out.
God. He's just getting his ass. He just
Now, they're not powerful punches because he's got no leverage.
dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Those are not like wimpy punches.
This
man.
guy just throw a punch. I don't know what he's doing.
He must
What
be.
you know what he should have done? He got him by the shirt. Just bang his head on the concrete. That'll stop his shit. Choke him. He wanted to choke him. Dude, you could just like I said, now he wants to fight when the referee comes in.
I do like how this starts. Listen to the freaking crowd.
Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Woo! Woo!
Oh, that's the best part about it. It's still only a 3-point game. It's 111. Oh, it just ended.
No, it's ended.
The Heat won 111 to 108. Wow, how did the Nuggets squander that lead? Ugh.
Miami went on a big spurt at the tail end, halfway through the fourth quarter.
We talked about it a little bit. Steven Strasburg probably never going to play baseball again. Severe nerve damage. He had to shut down everything from all physical activity. What would it do to his legacy if he can never pitch again?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He'll be known as Thor. Or no, sorry, that's Syndergaard. My bad. Mixing them up. No, he's still a phenomenal pitcher.
I remember when he came out of San Diego State as a number 1 pick.
The hype behind him was so unbelievably real. I remember I thought he went from high school, Grumpy.
No.
He played high school.
No.
Yes.
No. The answer is no.
We're going to fast check your ass. We're going to fact check your ass, Grumpy.
Thinking of Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper went to college. Strasburg.
Harper did not go to college.
He was right out of high school.
Jesus.
He was on the cover of ESPN magazine as being like the top prospect in baseball in like the last, I don't know, decade, last century, whatever.
He went to San Diego State
Did
University.
he really go to San Diego State?
Yeah. Just say, yes, my name is TJ. I'm a loser. I bungled yet another fact. Grumpy was right again. I was wrong as usual.
I'm trying to pull up here.
Here's the thing, though. He was tremendous in that playoff run, winning the World Series for the Washington Nationals. He was tremendous. And then he gets the big contract in the offseason, and he gets the arm injury, and that's it. I don't even know how many. I don't know how much he's played.
One thing I just noticed watching this game, Bam Adebayo got away with an illegal screen on that last shot that Jimmy Butler hit.
They all get away with that.
Peter moving to the side as he's setting a pick, is setting a screen. Can't be doing that.
I still think Denver wins this series.
I do too. I'm just saying I think they're going to they want to keep it close. The league absolutely wants to keep it close because they want to get those TV ratings. They want to get that money.
Okay. I guess he played one season at San Diego State.
Fucking shit. I told you that.
Yeah, fucking shit.
I told you that. Why do you even doubt me?
Strasburg may never pitch again.
It's funny. I remember him coming out. I just remember him being the number 1 pick.
The hype behind him was so unbelievably. It was just, I remember like it was so anticipated watching him go out there and pitch. Everybody's like, holy shit, it's going to be Strasburg. He's coming out there. How many like no hitters and perfect games did he have in college and high school where just the hype around him was just freaking unreal?
I remember, and this of course was before the internet, David Clyde was drafted first out of high school by the Texas Rangers. And 7 days after being drafted, he came out and he won a game for the Texas Rangers as a pitcher.
Wow.
And his career, didn't turn out. I mean, he wound up getting arm injuries, stuff like that. But he was like on like Sports Illustrated, for his first game. I don't know. I think he only threw 5 something innings and had a bunch of strikeouts. But I remember that. It's like, holy crap, David Clyde. But he never really panned out.
Yeah. Steven Strasburg. I don't know if you saw as well, Nolan Eovaldi has pitched extremely well. Last 7 starts, he's got a .68 ERA and a .68 WHIP.
Nathan Eovaldi's been even better.
Nathan Eovaldi. Now, Connor Bedard, I want to talk a little bit. Obviously, the hype is he'll be the first overall selection. He, by the way, is the first player Became the first player in Canadian Hockey League history. So that includes your Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, your Western Hockey League, and your Ontario Hockey League. All the three big hockey leagues they've got out there. He's been the first player in Canadian Hockey League history to sweep the Player of the Year, the Top Prospect, and Top Scorer awards. For the Regina Pats, he scored 71 goals, 72 assists in 57 games in a regular season this year. Want to ask you guys your thoughts on that. I mean, with Connor Bedard, I feel like he's about as can't miss of a prospect as it was for Connor McDavid, right?
Well, they're comparing him to Gretzky. So,
I mean, McDavid was compared to Gretzky too.
I think he's going to be really freaking good.
Neither of them are Gretzky, but I'd want to be his agent.
Yeah,
because he's going to freaking clean up.
Yep.
He's gonna make some bank, right, X?
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna make a killing. I think he's going to be a good player in the league. I do too. Think so. I think he'll be successful.
Going to a traditional hockey market, the Blackhawks,
Chicago. Yep.
I mean, good move. They certainly would never send him to Columbus.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. And I don't know who was Anaheim. No way.
No
they
way.
have
Right.
they have Zegras, so he was not going there.
True. So that was want to show this fantastic save. Not sure if you guys had a chance to watch it. Aiden Hill came up with an absolute huge save yesterday to keep Vegas in the game. I think it was tied at this time period and probably altered the game.
I think it changed momentum for sure.
And they're showing and hearkening it to the Braden Holtby save back in the day. They just have that sprawling out from behind, just that huge stick save. Nick Cousins can't get the puck up, can't get a legitimate shot on net, and they want.
This is the rebound too.
Yep. What is the expectation?
You got to finish that shot
for this series. I think so too.
The rebound is the worst. It's like you got. I mean, okay, just. He thought he had scored. He's skating away from the net. Just
kind of thinking, oh, it's a done deal. I've got this goal. No worries. Jesus.
Got to finish that. I mean, that was it too. I think it definitely changed momentum in the game. They ended up losing because of it.
I won't say because of that, but I definitely think, right, if you've got a 3-2 lead as opposed to a 2-2 tie game, that completely changes.
You're playing a little differently.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That big save. Now, here's the thing. Did you guys happen to see the potential high stick to keep the puck into the zone to make it 3-2 or make it 42?
No.
Okay.
I was doing the Islanders Never Say Die podcast when that was on yesterday.
Oh, okay. I'll pull that up here in a second. But let me put it like this. Paul Maurice was not too thrilled by it. That's about the nice
challenged it.
Put it. He did challenge it. So hold on a second. I'll put this up on screen. Give me one moment here, Grump.
Take your time. We got all day.
Oh, thanks, Grumpy. Thank you. There you go.
Above the shoulder of Mark Stone. Now he's
yes.
Made at the high stick.
Yes.
Yep.
But it was ruled not.
leaning over. And that's what makes
Do you think they want Vegas winning this series?
Oh, well, it's because he's leaning over. That's why it wasn't.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's where the stick is to where your body
again,
is.
it's a different look. When it's up higher, it looked like the puck was above the shoulder. Like right there. Yeah, I would challenge but at lower level, and they're gonna, looks like.
They challenged it. It was overruled, and Paul Maurice had this. Or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't overruled. They were sent to the penalty box. And Paul Maurice said after the game, and they must have been excited to get us back into the box, the box one more time that game.
He was unhappy with the refereeing yesterday.
Yep.
The officiating. I mean, like to me, that's as clear as day as a high stick. Yeah. But the big issue is Nick Cousins with a wide open. I'm sorry, with 89% of the net open can't bury a shot.
Okay, but it just goes to show you how just a couple little inches either way determines the outcome of that game, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Florida's still in good shape. I'm not saying they're going to win or they're going to lose, but
you're just saying don't count them out.
Yeah, I'm saying don't count them out. They lost the home game. They lost the road game. That's all.
I will tell you this. They had one of those people like where they asked the questions, on the panel. Oh, should Florida be worried because Bobrovsky gave up 4 goals in that most recent game? His last 10 starts, he's been playing so well and allowed 2 or less goals in 8 of those starts. Should Florida be worried because he gave up 4 goals? And when I hear that, I just kind of started cringing myself. I'm like, really? This is what we stoop ourselves down to the level of, because I guess there's so many normie fans who've never watched a game of hockey before where they're like, oh, this guy played really well. I guess he plays poorly. We have to worry about his production going forward. I just could not help but freaking shake my head. Oh, they were asking, hey, should we be worrying about Bobrovsky because he gave up more than 2 goals?
It happens.
Yeah.
But, a lot of times you get in a rhythm and then they've had like 10 days off.
Yeah, that's what we talked about on the last podcast.
Yeah,
is
it's
how
like-
it was going to affect them.
Yeah.
Having the sweep and not playing in a while. Does he come back as the same goalie?
Right. And I think there was one he definitely wanted back.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a road game. Nothing too much to worry about. I still have Florida winning this series. That's all I'm going to say. I still think they're the team to watch out for. They're the team to beat on that side too.
Yeah, I think Denver's going to, and I think Denver and basketball is going to win their series. Could potentially have a gentleman's sweep. Tough loss today, but we'll see what happens going forward.
Now, I'll let you watch this. You know how they have weird home run celebrations for all of the teams?
Yes.
I'll let you watch this one. Just get your opinions on it. I'm not sure if this is most recent. All the quote says, whoa, hey, how you doing? I'm not sure if this is a more recent celebration and what this is, but I'll let you watch this celebration for home run.
Was a no-doubter. Whoa, hey, how you doing? Was a no-doubter. Whoa, hey, how you doing?
I guess now we're doing pelvic thrusts for home run celebrations these days.
The Dicky bump.
The Dicky bump.
Christ almighty. Grumpy,
interesting celebration, a choice by the Red Sox. That's all I'll say.
My gosh, I do want to check the memes that Drew had sent us, so we're all current with those. Oh my God. Holy shit, hold on. We got a few memes here. I'm trying to get all caught up here. Okay, perfect. Christ, we got a grumpy meme. That's always good. There you go. This says, my joint after playing basketball for the first time in 6 months.
Oh!
Jesus Christ, my eardrums. Pat Riley after another bus season. Miami Heat run it back with the same roster. Oh man, we love that.
The best grumpy meme was the one where he's talking about the freaking he's talking about the damn betting. He's like, oh yeah, the gambling hotline. Ah! That one's great.
That's good too. Here you go. You could also Drew, you can also grab the snippet of Grumpy just doing this as he's staring at his TV as well. You can get every single one of them staring at their TV. But yeah, there's Son X watching TV. You can get a million.
So ridiculous.
This is how it was. Ridiculous. Yeah, I would just, as you guys would argue, I'd just be kind of doing my own thing always.
Fuck. Christ almighty. Anyway.
I just let you guys go. I would sometimes try and stop it, but no hope.
That save is what won Vegas the game. I definitely think it altered the game.
Definitely changed the momentum.
Momentum. Sure. Yep. Momentum changer for certain.
Yep. Well, ladies and gents, here we are at the end of our show today. Son X, what do you want to say before we wrap things up here today?
Little X factor right here. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and listening. Had a blast. And I guess no podcast this Thursday, but we'll look forward to Sunday. Next Sunday.
There it is. There it is. And Grumpy, what do you want to say before we wrap things up here today?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens, and even those who don't, from TJ, the grumpy old man, and Son X.
The magnificent Son X. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the show. We're unfortunately not going to have a show here this Thursday, but we will be back for Sunday evening action. Until then, well, I mean, by that time, next Sunday, we should know exactly how the finals are going to play out for the most part between the NBA Finals and the NHL Finals. We should have a much clearer picture.
Much clearer picture.
But thank you so much for tuning in, watching the show here today. Remember, if you enjoyed the content, leave a thumbs up. Apparently, that helps the algorithm. And we'll be with you guys live this upcoming Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much, Grumpy. Thanks so much, Son X. Have a great start to your work week. Thank you so much, Grumpy and Son X.
My pleasure.
Hold on. I'm about to ask a football question. Out of the 50 players on each team, about how many are drafted?
Drafted, period?
Yeah,
Or
like that are not like unrestricted free agents who just came in. I want to
Streeties?
say, yeah,
Not
Streeties.
Streeties? 90
95% of the team.
Okay, I was going to say 98%, but that's fair. That's fair. A lot. Most of them are drafted.
You might have you get a lot of players who are like, I'm a special teams player who's kept on the team to be a gunner, and a guy like that. There's usually like one or two
Long
guys.
snappers are always Streeties. They're not drafted.
Sometimes kickers and punters are Streeties as
Yeah.
well. But like I want to say it's around that.
90, maybe 90%.
Okay. About 90, 95%. Fair enough. But thank you so much for watching it. My little brownie's interested in football. Looky there, Grumpy, piquing your interest. She's going to be ready this year for NFL action. I just know it's the case.
I'm glad we didn't talk about the 7 NFL teams that might not make the playoffs this year, or the Memorial Day baseball rankings. Just nope, not important enough to make it on the show.
There we go, Grumpy. You're right. Not important enough to make it on the show, because guess what? When the NFL or the NHL and the NBA Finals end, we're going to be talking about football all the way from that standpoint on, all the way until the upcoming portion, Grumpy. When we've got all these sports going on, we don't have to overload it with football, Grumpy. Relax, Grumpy. Football's right around the corner, okay? Anyway, thanks so much, Grumpy. Thanks so much, Son X.